Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty.
Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl. Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator.
The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
All right, folks. Like I said, I have Marc and Bri from the Brink of Sanity, but I guess, you know what, I'll explain it. I'm going to give everybody the raw dog fucking disclaimer here, and then we will begin. Guys, I will just kind of introduce this, give a little background as to why it's, you know, this streaming at this time instead of what I usually do on a Monday night, and introduce you guys, and we'll all high five, and then we'll just go from there, right?
John, are we already recording?
Yeah, we're recording and we're live streaming right now.
So here's the question. If you did not explain this, would anyone ask you a question about it?
Yes. I've been bombarded with shit as to why I didn't play a music episode tonight. And where the fuck am I? I already took a week off. You're a lazy dick.
Who bombards you?
Listeners, right now, folks, I don't usually throw these out, but thank you all for being here. Like I said, it just makes me super anxious and nervous, but I try and ignore it. 115 people right now just on the live stream.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe he fell for the soft opening.
Well, it was 715, but no, it's been ridiculous. I've been telling Jay he needs to look into this whole radio stream thing. It just allows you a wide audience that you can broadcast to 24/7 and shit, and it really brings people in. But enough talking about you fuckers.
What is this radio stream thing?
It's just an internet radio station, the Random Ass Radio Network, 24/7.
Where do you get this network? Why doesn't Jay know about this stuff? He's our tech guy / only person that knows what they're doing.
It's
Jay's busy studying. Leave him alone.
Yeah, it's Shoutcast or Icecast. I mean, it's you pay a monthly fee to somebody who sets you up with a server, and then that's your stream, and you get this free broadcasting software that I have right here, and you do what we're doing right now, and anybody who tunes in can listen to it.
Jay's not paying for anything, so.
We pay for this. He loses money every month. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Every once in a while.
I should have known that.
Every once in a while, I'll send Jay a check because I feel bad. I'm like, do you want me to split it? He's like, no. And then Jay's like, I failed the CPA. I'm like, I'm going to send you $50, Jay.
We'll just make it out the cash.
I have a question. What you're streaming to right now, is it a single room of a church where in Houston right now where half the room is flooded, or it's like everyone's flooded up to their chest, and all they can do is pray and listen to your show?
Actually, it's another church across town where it's all these displaced pets, and we're background noise to keep them from freaking out.
Do you hear about those things where they're going to rescue the pets? Aren't you ever wondering, really, is this what you guys are doing? The people are like, it's a disaster in Houston, you're going to rescue the pets.
I would rescue the pets before I rescued the people.
Is that your comment? Just like people in general, or people that live in Houston?
No, just people in general.
You know, before we shit any more gold, why don't we officially start? So I have a marker.
I'm not going to let all the dogs die just because a bunch of assholes left them to die.
But you value the dog. John, we are recording, right?
We are recording, yes. Okay. We just haven't officially started.
Do you want to start in a half hour while we talk?
We might as well officially start that since we're...
Let's officially start. I'm going to give, I guess I told you all what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it right now. Here we go. Just a couple seconds of silence, which is radio gold, so I know where I'm at. Attention! The show you are about to listen to contains adult content and language. If you are easily offended or under the age of 18, please put down your playback device, press stop, and run away as quickly as possible. You have been warned. Parlor Room Productions and the Random Ass Radio Network would also like to state that everything you hear here is a joke. Take it seriously at your own risk. Welcome.
Have you been doing that warning for a while, or because Jay just started doing one?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, is this considered your show or our show? Because
it's both. I'm getting ready to get into that. Just 1 second, man.
Can it just be your show? And I'll tell you why.
Why?
Well, because there's things that we can't talk about on our show.
Oh, no.
We can talk about it.
Jay wanted a hybrid. He wanted a crossover episode. We're going to release this on the Brink stream also, so you still cannot talk about what Jay does not want you to talk about. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, you can. Anyway, here we go. I'll start this. Welcome, everybody. It is August 28th, 2017. My name is John Wilcox. I'm your host here, broadcasting to you live from the Parlor Room Production Studios in beautiful downtown Bushnell, Illinois. Joining me on this momentous crossover show this evening are Marc and Bri from my good buddy Jay's podcast, The Brink of Sanity, and this is The Brink of Ass, Volume 4. Hi, Marc and Bri.
Hey,
Hi, John.
Hey, do you is the most of your show spent doing the introduction?
Oh, at least 15 minutes. If I'm an album show, I can take a 40-minute album, and it's 2 hours every show. 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
You know, have you noticed this trend on TV shows now? They do like they'll play like 20 minutes of the show and then do the introduction.
Yes,
you guys notice
the
that?
pre-intro. Yeah.
Like my wife would watch Parenthood, which I guess is off the air now. I'd watch it with her every once in a while, and they'd have like half the episode would air, and then you see the introduction credits. I'd be like, "What the fuck are they doing? I don't understand." Like, just do the credits to begin with, or don't show them at all.
Does it really affect you that strongly?
I always just think it's ridiculous because like I've seen shows in the past where they do like 30 seconds, then the intro.
Mark
But
is very easily swayed.
But 15 minutes of the show, and then you do the intro. We know what we're watching at this point. No one's confused. No one's 15 minutes into the show, and they start playing Parenthood. They're like, "Fuck, it's Parenthood! I didn't mean to watch this." Now I'm hooked. Thank you, Parenthood, for your catchy 15 minutes of your drama to get me hooked before I knew I was watching.
That's why it's off the air now.
Yeah, I mean, like, am I gonna fall for other shows?
Well, you know what would have saved Parenthood, right? Dragons.
Yes.
If this is going to be the Game of Thrones part of the show, I'm going to go take a shit.
Oh no, it's just dragons will save anything. It should just all dragons.
So will tits.
or midgets. Midgets riding dragons.
Oh my god.
Attacking tits.
No, midgets riding little midget dragons that have great big tits.
I don't know if I'd go for the episode with the dragons have the tits. That might not be what keeps my attention.
Have you ever seen dragon tits?
It would have been a weird dynamic to add, like, the ratings aren't so good with Parenthood. The whole thing where we have like 3 families that all interacting because they're different generations. Let's add tits on dragons.
Brilliant.
I don't know if that's gonna. Maybe it would have to show off the air. So apparently, whatever they were doing was wrong.
They weren't dragon-centric enough. They definitely were not dragon-centric enough on that show. And it doesn't have to be in a Game of Thrones way. It's just if you're having trouble, if you've got flagging ratings, boom, throw in a dragon.
Do you think we as a people should just pretend dragons existed? If you went to school and they told you dragons existed back in the day, like dinosaurs are just as absurd. Like there's just as ridiculous. I mean, obviously, I believe in dinosaurs, but at the same time, like the fact that giant lizards roam the earth, is that any more like fantastical than like dragons roam the earth?
No, I don't believe so. I just don't think that any of them... Well, I don't know this. I don't know for a fact that none of the thunder lizards from our prehistoric past ever breathed fire.
I don't think they ever breathed fire. That just sounds kind of ridiculous. But what if we just, like, you go to school, like, Texas Tech... the Christians take over in schools, the school districts. We just learn the Bible, but we, as a compromise...
First you learn about the flood.
You get the Bible, but you also get, which is going on in Houston right now.
That's why I said that.
Yes.
It's a joke.
I don't think people in Houston think that's funny, Bri. You're gonna have to
I don't think we have a big following in Houston.
That most of our listeners that are still alive are there.
Oh well.
What if they can treat the Bible as fact, but we can add in dragons and whatever creatures we want, basically marshmallow men.
Yeah, well now you're just Ken Ham.
Now you're just what?
Ken Ham.
Ken Ham,
the feller from Australia who opened the Creationist Museum, built the life-size replica of Noah's Ark, depicts people in the Roman Colosseum fighting dinosaurs and shit because we all lived at the same time because the Bible's calendar is true. Ken Ham.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you just pretend dinosaurs didn't exist? If you're gonna do that, just Dinosaurs fighting the Romans?
Well, fighting like Roman slaves and stuff and gladiators, not the actual Romans.
I mean, this is a more fun history. It's not like I can prove. I can't prove dinosaurs existed. If like next week they said it was all like one big joke and dinosaurs never existed, joke would be on me. Not like I was being the archaeologist, like digging up the bones.
How do you have time to dig up any bones when right now we all need to be fighting Nazis as archaeologists?
That would be good. So we're all going to become Indiana Jones?
Exactly. Can you think of a name one other archaeologist?
There was Sir. I know this one, Sir Winston Archaeologist, which its science is named after.
Oh, okay. I see somebody has Wikipedia open in their computer.
Oh, one of your listeners is
Just don't change this Wikipedia page.
See, now that's what I used to do. I used to like to go in and change Wikipedia pages. It never lasted long, but something along those lines would always be great. Like, yeah,
I think
archaeology was invented by Sir Winston Archaeology.
Yes. Sir Winston Archaeology. He was alive. He used to ride a brontosaurus and dig up bones of other dinosaurs that weren't brontosauruses.
Mark, if you're done with the dinosaur talk, can we start making fun of Jay now?
Sure, why not? I'm not
Since he's not here.
Now, if you guys would very quickly, there are a lot of folks who have no clue who Mark or Bri or Jay are. If you would like to maybe both of you give a name to your voice and then explain who Jay is in your own words, in your own loving way, that would be great.
How many more introductions are we going to do?
Probably 6 or 7, but let's get through this round next.
If we finish this one, then we can start the outros.
Yes.
It'll be like a Jewish goodbye. It'll take forever. Okay, so I am Mark of the Brink of Sanity podcast. Our podcast is about us talking about stuff. Jay is the person on our podcast that knows how to record the show and put it on the air. On the air being, I don't know where, on iTunes, I don't know. That's all I got, Bri.
I'm Bri. I'm also on the Brink of Sanity podcast, and I'd like to be on the Nick of Sanity podcast, but every time Jay says I'm going to be on, he never calls me to be on. But that's another story for another show. Anyways, Jay is also the person who handles the technical aspect, and he's busy studying to be an accountant, so he is too cool for the show.
He is.
And, he's on a roll now because he finally passed one of the tests, so he's got 3 more to go, and that's it.
There's 4 tests to be an accountant.
Yeah, well, he's battling his own dragons, but his own dragons are
his own dragons are ants and mold.
Well, no, his own dragons are like 4 written exams that you have to learn all the basics of financial and other types of accounting.
Yeah, but you get to use a calculator, so what's so tough?
I don't know. Apparently they're really tough because Jay Jay is 1 for 4 so far. But now once he passes 1, he has to pass the other 3 within 18 months. And then he gets the coveted title of CPA and can use his magical powers to put anyone to sleep at any time.
And deduct 1% from your prime rate mortgage.
Yes, exactly. So Jay is trying to better his future. The rest of us don't give a shit about our future. And
now because of Jay, these poor 2 fellas have to slum here on the Random Ass Radio program.
What do you want to do for our second intro?
Second intro. I don't know. If you could be a tree, Mark, what kind of tree would you be?
I'd be a double tree, an entire hotel.
I'd be one of those trees that falls across the highway.
During a storm or just randomly?
Just randomly.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
If, say, you lived in Houston and you had what they call a mega church and you were all about God, would you open your mega church and allow people to come to your mega church for salvation /shelter?
If I were all
Sure,
about
for $100 a pop.
Yeah, if I were all about God, I wouldn't have a mega church. I'd be walking around barefoot with no shirt on because I gave it to some fuckers I saw with no shoes and no shirt. I guess if my official stance on this would be Joel Osteen can go suck yet another dick, I guess.
Joel Osteen, worst person alive. Actually, not even close. There's some bad people alive, but he's a pretty awful human being.
Yeah, no, he ranks up there with really bad. He's trading hope, false hope, for money. That's pretty bad. That's like prostitution without any payoff at the end.
Like if something happened to him, wouldn't your reaction kind of be like, "Oh, nice"?
Oh yeah, especially if
pretty
like he had some freak accident where he was raped to death by dogs. That might be like, oh wow, didn't see that coming. But apropos,
Like if his church flooded and he drowned, that'd be pretty nice.
Well, let me just go on what you just said, John. You said raped to death by dogs.
Yeah.
What if he was raped but had to go on with life, knowing that he was raped by dogs? Would that be better or worse?
oh better. Once you're dead, nothing matters. So yeah, if he could survive that vicious dog raping, and then forever, anybody walks up behind him is like, watch this, that's Joel.
What kind of pussy gets raped by dogs?
Right.
Well, apparently dogs created a new pussy within John's
Anus.
uses anus as a pussy. Yes. Allegedly on our fantasy podcast.
Yeah, Joel, if you're listening, we're kidding. Give us a call. Skype, John Wilcox, Random Ass Radio. Give us a call. Tell us why. Tell us why you can't put anybody in your church.
Joel, if you're listening, open the goddamn doors and let people in, you asshole. That's a crazy. I can't believe you would not like use that. You would think like just from a marketing perspective, he would he'd be like, I'll let all the homeless, all the people that are like suffering in. That way, they'd want to be part of his church.
I know, he could let him in. He could put him to work. They could clean it, and they could, do all kinds of stuff.
Like while they're there, he could like steal their credit cards and just like max them out.
Yeah. People sign over their mortgages to him.
So, John.
Yes.
How old are your kids?
What?
You have kids, right?
Sure.
How old are your kids?
Oh, God, don't make me
He didn't
do
ask
math.
for their social security numbers.
25, 23, and 13.
Oh, wow.
So those aren't kids; those are adults.
Well, two of them are, yeah. All the same,
Do
all
they-
the same women, all the same family. It's not a second family with the 13-year-old. It just happened.
Is the middle name not a second family?
Yes.
No, that's the first name.
I have cousins with the same like 10-year gap. I assume at some point you were like, the other two are adults. Let's have another one.
Well, no, because I didn't get rid of the two adults until like last year.
Well, I feel like three kids is too much for me. I have two young ones, but like the only way I would do a third kid is like 10 years from now. I want to go back to the baby phase.
Oh, no, you don't. And you've got the perfect number. 2 children is perfect. How old were you when you had them?
I was 32, I guess 32 when my son was born, and 34 when my daughter. My kids are 6 and 3. I'm 38.
Oh, God, you tried to actually plan to have a life and be financially secure before you had kids?
Was that inappropriate? Should I go back and like screw it up?
Yeah,
my
you
dad was
knock that
32
shit up
when
at
he had me.
19, and then you're free by the time you're 40.
Well, what's up, Bri?
I said my parents were the same age as you are when you had your first son, so
Okay, cool.
So you'll be on the same sort of path as me and them.
Are you saying that to make me feel good or bad?
Oh no, I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah, extrapolate
like-
on this. I'm
Like
interested
when
to
your
see where this is
son's
going.
39, you'll be 71. That's all I'm saying.
You're like, this will guarantee when your son goes to the bathroom, he'll take off his shirt, just like I do.
Oh, let's not get into that on this show.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, because I have a problem with this. My middle child does that.
Oh my god!
Yeah. What is that? What is that fucking shit? Why, I don't understand that at all.
Right. Wait,
Like just spread out, be free.
your middle child takes off his shirt when he goes to the bathroom, just like Bri does?
Yeah, he really does. That's Kyle,
Yeah,
if you're listening, sorry.
I
John,
taught him that.
I'm going to break this to you, and I hope you don't take this wrong. Bri is actually his dad.
I was gonna say, I heard Bryce say, I taught him that.
I thought, what is your son's? What's his reason for doing that?
No, I've asked him, and he's like, oh, that's just what I do.
Are you proud when he takes off his shirt to go to the bathroom?
You know, I'm proud of the fact that he hasn't done like I caught my oldest boy doing when he was like 16 or 17, and he was in the bathroom taking a shit and he was eating a sandwich. So I can overlook the shirt thing, but you don't eat where you shit. You don't shit where you eat.
I don't think I could eat a sandwich while taking a shit on a bet.
No.
Like I would go like, oh, I lost that challenge. Kick me off the island or whatever.
I don't bring anything I don't even read the paper. I don't bring anything into the bathroom with me.
Oh, you're not a
you're
library guy? You got to I mean, well, I take a long poop. I'm a long pooper, so I do have reading material.
Yeah, I look forward to my like good shits where I can like sit down and read a nice article. Yeah, I like reading on the I like my library. You don't, Bri?
No.
Why not?
Because I try to get in and out as fast as I can.
So you try to get your shirt on and off as fast as you can?
Get the shirt off, get the shit out, get the shirt on, and get out.
What are you, Superman?
There's
Kinda.
so much poop shame here. So much poop shame. I don't. Where did? Oh.
Wouldn't Bri be the best superhero? They're like, danger! They're criminals robbing the bank. Is there a bathroom around here? I can take a quick shit and change into my costume.
Yeah, don't
What
do
if
it in a
you're-
phone booth because then you'll just be known as the guy that shits in phone booths all the time when there's trouble.
You'd be like You'd be the superhero that before you could rescue people and change their costume, you had to take a shit each time.
Like the opposite of Popeye.
Yes.
He eats his spinach and then he turns into a superhero. I shit, and then all of a sudden I'm like,
You've got to get rid of the spinach out of your body.
Haven't you ever had such a good shit that you kind of feel like a superhero afterwards?
I've said like there's sometimes and we shouldn't spend too much time talking about our shits, but there are some times where like I feel like I could probably fly onto a cloud right afterwards. Like I feel like I've dropped like a couple pounds. You're like, wow, I can go for a run right now.
yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know why we have to
That was all
steer.
inside of me.
Right? That's my favorite. One time I did the, you know how you do the whole accidentally clicking send to all when you're sending a photo. Just to fuck with my sister-in-law once, I took a really, really good poopy and took a picture of it and tagged it with, look what I made, and sent it and didn't realize I hit sent to all. And then all of a sudden, like 2 minutes later, my phone starts blowing up with people screaming at me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And, yeah, because it looked like a murder scene. I mean, there was nothing really solid about it. It was more like some sort of oil spill, like some Valdez disaster in the toilet, and people were really, really upset.
Do you ever have days where the biggest thing you accomplished all day was what you flushed down the toilet?
Daily.
Okay, let's move past this. So, in case anyone's enjoying our show while they're while they're eating a sandwich.
So that's a no from everybody. None of us will eat on the toilet.
Let's see if we can find more things that Bri does that your children do also.
Bri, what's another one of your eccentricities?
Geez, I have so many.
Do any of your kids like to do podcasts where they get obliterated drunk?
No, I actually I do have one of my children that has done a few with me, but I'm the only one who gets obliterated drunk, and it ends with recriminations and tears and all kinds of problems like that. But no, the kids are all actually pretty straight-laced for as huge a functioning alcoholic as I am.
Do you at what point did you introduce the fact that you did podcasts to your kids?
Oh, they knew from the beginning when I started because there was a whole lot of this. Shut the fuck up out there! I'm doing a show!
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I cry for them?
Hey, at least I didn't tell him Daddy was going to get the belt.
What? How long ago did you start doing a show?
How long? Oh, I did it. I started back in 2008. Did it for a couple years. Moved to a place with no good internet to do it, and then just recently started again last year, and managed to shit out 200. This is episode 251 now.
Since 2008, or since you restarted?
since 2016.
Wow.
Do you do one show an hour?
No, one every day, 6 days a week.
Do you get paid for this?
No, I don't, people.
Are you Are you trying to set a record for most shows? Not record. Sorry. Are you trying to do as many shows as possible until your wife will leave you?
No, actually, she's behind it, and I do as many as I do because it is a 24/7 streaming live radio deal too. So there has to be fresh content all the time. So I kick out. I do them. I'm doing much earlier. I mean, you guys, we're starting tonight. I go to work at 6 a.m. and we're starting at my bedtime, but I love Jay and you fellas so much and podcasting so much because it pays so well that I'm willing to stay up and do this. I do my shit at I get off work at 2:30 in the afternoon. I start shows at 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm done by dinner time, and then I got time to watch TV and go to bed.
Wait,
You do it alone most of the time?
I do it alone 3 days out of the week. Those are the music episodes, and then I do an entertainment segment on Thursdays with Ryan Simpson of HowSimpSeesIt.com, and also actually, it's the news when it's not the football season. We're getting ready to start a brand new football season. I also do a random ass football episode on Thursdays.
When you said Ryan, I was so hoping the next word would be Seacrest. It'd be great if Ryan Seacrest. He's like, I'm the host of American Idol, and also do a podcast with some guy in the Midwest.
Whose son takes his shirt off to shit.
Ryan Seacrest, that's how we came together. I also take my shirt off the shit. So
I bet he does. Now that you bring it up, I bet Ryan Seacrest takes his shirt off when he poops.
Brian, how do you feel about the fact that John here thinks that Ryan Seacrest is the kind of guy who would take his shirt off to take a shit?
I didn't know that there was a kind of guy that does that.
Oh, there's a type. There's a profile. And maybe Mr. Trump, if you're listening, instead of all the Muslims and the brown people you're trying to keep out of the country, maybe we can ask some different questions, like about bathroom habits. And maybe we won't have so many shirtless shitters here in this country ruining everything and taking our jobs.
So you would say, you have to leave your shirt on based on your... I don't even know.
I bet you Trump takes his shirt off.
Well, here's the thing. I have shit with my shirt off. I get up in the mornings. I sleep in a pair of pajama pants. I get up in the mornings. I don't bother to put a shirt on to go take a shit. I'll just take a shit sans shirt. But if I have a shirt on and I go in to take a shit and I'm not going to take a shower, I do not get partially nude to poop.
Okay, I would say that I cannot to keep the topic of shit going. I would say I have trouble shitting without a shirt on, because then I sit there, I stare down at my pathetic body, and I want to just put my entire body down the toilet.
So you body shame yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I think I sit there being like, "The fuck's wrong with you? Like, this is what you become." That's what I do. I need a shirt on just to keep my self-esteem.
So you and Kevin Smith, then, do you have sex with the shirt on?
I mean, I have. I got no problem. I mean, having the shirt on doesn't prevent the sex from happening. So.
Yeah, but you got to hold it kind of up and out of the way so it's not getting. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'd say like Kevin Smith, I'm ashamed of myself.
What about you, Brian? Do you have a bunch of body shame issues?
Well, Brian, actually, I have a question, Brian. If you have sex after you get out of the bathroom, do you put your shirt back on or keep your shirt off?
I normally don't shit right before I have sex, so.
Honey, I'm
feeling good now, babe.
That's a bit of a mood killer.
Don't worry, honey. I'm really fast. I don't even bring a magazine with me. Well, if you Brian, if you had sex in the bathroom, would you have your shirt on or off?
Depends if I was sitting on the toilet.
You're gonna sit in this toilet and have sex? That sounds kind of weird.
Well, maybe. I mean, I'll put the seat down. I'll put the lid down.
Let me ask something real quick here, since you brought up bathroom sex. Either of you, because for me, I've got no desire for this, but you always hear about people hooking up in a bar and going in one of the bathrooms to fuck. Does anybody have any desire to fuck in a bar bathroom?
I imagine you have to be pretty. I mean, if you're single and you're drunk and you're in a club, I guess it's that's what you do. I guess I don't know. If you were, I don't know. If you were single and you were in a club and you were drunk and you found some chick that you wanted to get with, you probably and she was like, "Yeah, I'm game." You probably do it.
I don't think so. I think I might recommend at least maybe going out and fucking by the dumpster before I fuck over the
I
toilet.
met a chick at a bar. We went out to her car. And she blew me, and then I told her I was leaving, and I got out of the car, and she left, and I went back into the bar. But we didn't go in the bathroom, no.
Did your son? John? Did your son do that also?
And I think I left my shirt on too, if I remember.
Did you pull it up for her at least? Pull the shirt up a little bit, or
Yeah,
just let her
a little.
fight that shit?
Yeah, that was.
So you're like, I'm done now. You can leave. I'm going back to the bar. I never want to see you again.
Well, no, she was going to another bar, and she was trying to get me to go to that bar, and I was like, well, no, my friend's here, so I'm staying here. And then I left my hat in her car, which fucking sucked. So then the next week I had to go back to the bar to see if she was there, and she was. And she was holding my hat ransom. I was so fucking embarrassed. I was like, oh, no. Because then I saw her, and I was just like, oh, that was, ooh.
Not as embarrassed, though, as her, who fell for the old, I'll go to the next bar with you if you blow me. Ha ha, tricks on you.
No, I never told her I was doing that. I never said I was going to the bar. She just said, you want to go to my car? And I was like, all right.
How long ago was this? When were you last single, Bri?
Well, this was like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
We need someone on the show who's single, who goes out a lot, and can have stories to tell us.
I don't know. You know what? That kind of stuff now, like back in my 20s and everything, because I'm assuming I'm the old man here at 46. That shit was all titillating back in the day, but now I listen to it, I'm like, oh, but who was she? And that's so unsanitary sounding. And oh, why didn't you just like go get something to eat instead?
I have to say, I would go back to the bathrooms. Like, I mean, a bathroom at a club or a bar is only slightly above a bathroom at a gas station. So
Yeah, I mean, they take
there.
there's no doors on the stalls, and, so it's not like
Can I say this much, though? I want to say this. I don't know if either of you fellas have ever been to a, quote, gay bar, but I have been to a couple, and seriously, the cleanest, nicest fucking men's
Jay, if you have something to say,
bathrooms.
you should be on the show.
Wait, yeah, Jay just texted.
Jay, if you have something to say, then you should have done the show yourself.
Jay goes, I had dirty bathroom bar sex. I don't know if he better be doing that right now, but instead of doing the show. What the hell's wrong with you, Jay? You're studying for the CPA exam.
Hey, I'm just not going to do the podcast, but comment on everything on the podcast live as it happens.
I don't have time to do the show, but I'll listen live and I'll comment as the show goes on. That makes sense.
Mark, did you see that video from City Field with a couple having sex in the bathroom?
No.
Like 3 weeks ago?
No. Could you send that to me?
Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
You know why Jay keeps screwing up the CPA exam? There's no section on having sex in the bathroom. He's ready for that part of the CPA exam. He goes, I just got home from work. Come on the show then, Jay.
Ew.
He's clearly listening. Call in, Jay. The hell's wrong with you?
That's better. I prefer call in, Jay, than come on the show, Jay. Now we're back into dirty bathroom sex.
Okay. So, Jay, until you come on the show, we're going to assume that your dirty bathroom sex was with a dude.
Dudes.
Multiple dudes, yes.
Tied up like a Chinese finger trap in that stall.
If you go on Jay's Wikipedia page, which we're going to create soon, you'll find out Jay had lots of dirty bathroom sex with men. Oh, is that Jay calling or no? Oh, that's Bryce sending me the... That's pretty funny. Did we...
No, we're all waiting on you. Yeah, we're waiting right here patiently, man. It feels like you're about to get it out, and I don't want to interrupt you and block you back up again.
I think I'm out. I think that topic is done.
Is your shirt? Do you still have your shirt on at least?
Oh, nice. You can see the
feet.
You just see their feet, but it's pretty funny.
But you can hear the
Jay
game
says going to bed. You should talk about shit for a little while. Jay, why don't you come on the show? What the hell's wrong with you?
Jay, hurry up and go to sleep so we can talk shit about you.
Jay, when you don't come on the show, all we talk about is shit. We released an entire Brink episode about shit. You're gonna love it.
Jay, if you don't want us to talk about shit, I know some other things we can talk about.
Ooh, the gauntlet has been thrown down. He's still actively listening. So John.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
What do you so can you don't have to tell me where you work, but what do you do for a living that you go in at 6 and you come back at 2:30? Like, what farm do you work at?
No, Mark's the president.
No. It's well, we make farm stuff, Mark. We build feed and seed bins for farmers. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's like a big, dirty ass welding shop, pretty much.
Oh, because getting home from work at 2:30 is pretty cool.
No, it's very cool. It's the getting up at fucking 5 in the morning to get to work and be going at 6 that kind of blows. But I don't mind it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I think I might go for that as far as the schedule. What's your commute like?
I could walk to work.
Really?
Yes, I'm like 7 blocks from work. I live in a tiny little shit splat town, folks. And I don't mean to call it a shit splat town because I always refer to it as beautiful downtown Bushnell, Illinois. But no, it's like 2,500 people. We have. Oh, go ahead.
Do you have a mayor?
Yes, but I could not tell you his name.
Could we get you to be mayor?
Probably not. Too many skeletons in this closet, and I don't care for politics.
I know, but like, wouldn't it be great for your show if you were mayor? Like wouldn't that push your show to the next level if the Random Ass Radio podcast brought to you by the mayor?
I think maybe if I got into some sort of trouble legally and then the judge sentenced me to be mayor to teach me a lesson, that would be much cooler.
Oh, no more drunk driving for you because you're now the mayor.
You're going to start making decisions that have consequences.
Oh my God, I'm telling you what. I think this needs to be pitched somewhere. Folks, if you're listening, if I see this anywhere, I'm suing the fuck out of all of you. This needs to be pitched.
Seinfeld's good. I think Seinfeld's going to sue us for that because wasn't that sort of their idea with
what?
The butler. Yeah, the butler thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, but we said mayor.
Whatever. You have fun doing prank calls. Well, how about you take some responsibility and run the town? Not a butler. It's even better. The mayor. You have responsibility over people's lives.
2,500 lives. You're almost as important as an airline pilot.
How is everyone there white, or are there minorities too?
You mean like blacks
Mark's just trying
and
to figure
Mexicans?
out how many people are going to vote for you.
No, I'm just. You mean like women too?
Yeah, no. I want to learn more about you, John.
Oh no, it's a small little. It's smack dab in the middle of the fucking Midwestern Bible Belt. It's a little white town that's got. But there are black folk here. But believe it or not, they are incredibly well spoken.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering if sometimes I picture those like small towns being all white, where most of the kids there are not sure whether a black person or a dragon is real. They're like on 50-50 about which one's real.
Well, you can tell the dragon's real if it has tits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If it's a midget on the back, then you know it's like the real thing.
Right.
And if it's a midget on the back of a dragon with tits that's fighting the Roman Emperor, then you know it's real.
Quite possibly the most awkward callback in history, folks, and you heard it here first on the Random Ass Radio Network.
While we're talking about whether or not black people are real or not, Mark, are your kids still calling every black person they see Martin Luther King Jr.?
Oh, really? Really?
There's one of the wedding picture. There's a friend of mine who's black in the picture, and my son was learning about Martin Luther King.
But only in the picture. He's white in person.
Yeah, my friend, he doesn't live here anymore. My son hasn't met him. My son met him a long time ago, but he doesn't remember. So my son was like, "Daddy, is that Martin Luther King in the picture with you?" It was around the time at school when he was learning. He was in kindergarten. He's going into first grade. He was learning about Martin Luther King, and so he naturally assumes that his daddy is friends with Martin Luther King. He really asked that question. I don't know. What do you want? What do you want from me?
You know what? I can kind of understand where your child is coming from. When I was in kindergarten, I got called out on this is a little different. I got called out on a lie because I didn't realize, like what your child doesn't realize, that all black people aren't Martin Luther King Jr. Everybody was asking, the teacher was asking, what do your parents do? What's your dad do for a living? And we were going around the circle, and I said, my dad's an astronaut. And, of course, he wasn't. And the teacher's like, well, don't you mean your dad has seen astronauts on TV? And I'm like, nope, he's an astronaut, been up into space. And then she proceeded to tell me, no, everybody knows the name of every single astronaut up until now, and your dad's name's not one of them, you lying little fuck.
Okay, first of all,
I couldn't name more than 2 astronauts.
yeah, there's no way
What?
everyone knows the name of all
Oh,
the astronauts.
you have to remember, this is 1976.
Oh, yeah.
Even
that's
still.
probably- No, 76. I mean, there's like 5 of them. So,
Yeah, Alan Shepard, Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong. Boom, there's 3 of them right there. Gus Grissom,
Lovell.
4.
it'd be great if it was like the day, like the year after the moon landing. And you're like, my dad's an astronaut, and they're like, your dad had landed on the moon? Yeah, he told me.
You should have been like, no, oh, I'm sorry. I mean, my dad's a Russian cosmonaut.
Oh, no, I would have said, oh, no, my dad was on Apollo 12.
Oh.
Yeah.
You could have just said, no, my dad's as drunk as an astronaut, and just let her interpret that any way she wanted. We had to do in like 2nd grade. We had to find out where our ancestors are from and draw color in like a flag. And my dad told me we were from the Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia at the time, so I drew a Czech flag. And then I asked him about it years later. I'm like, oh, which part of our family's from Czechoslovakia? And he said, none of our family's from Czechoslovakia. And I was like, why did you have me do a Czechoslovakian flag in school? He's like, oh, I don't know. I just said something and you did it. I was like, he's like, oh, I don't really know where our family's from. So you chose Czechoslovakia? Yeah. It was a weird thing, a weird random one he could choose. Like he could choose Russia, he could choose something else.
I guess your teacher didn't fact check it.
No, she didn't. Like I guess she isn't gonna go. I'm like, my family's from Czechoslovakia. You lying little shit.
She was like, wow, these kids did that project. I can't believe they did it.
Maybe my dad didn't even know I was doing a project for school. I probably asked him. He was just like, Czechoslovakia, get the hell out of here.
He
Cool.
couldn't have picked something easier to spell for a 2nd grader.
Yeah. Oh, cool. You picked the country that had 800 letters. That's great.
And like 7 vowels in a row. Who knew?
I have to say, like, I've talked about this before on the show, but as far as, like, I'm teaching my son to read right now. My son's, like, just learning how to read. The English language is a fucking joke. Everything you read, it's like there's a rule, and then everything doesn't follow the rules.
Actually, English is considered like one of the 2nd or 3rd hardest languages to learn in the world because of its major discrepancies in its rules.
Well, it's because of, like, we're rational and we're completely insane people. We're like, oh, why can't you learn how to read? Because, like, all our words are not phonetically spelled. Like, nothing's phonetically spelled.
Well,
So
that's because we took all of our language from other languages.
But why not just correct it then? Like, when you get a word from another, why would you have a C and a K? Why would you have, like, why does an I sometimes sound like an E? Like, why don't you just use an E in that situation?
I'm with you there, Mark, because if you haven't noticed, I pronounce Illinois the way it's supposed to be pronounced. Illinois, there is no such thing as a silent S. That's made up, and it's made to make people from this state look foolish. There is no such thing as a silent S, Illinoisians. It's Illinois.
Well, when I pronounce it, I just keep it all silent because in memory of the fact that they're all dead.
Ooh.
The Illinois, whatever tribe that's from.
The Iroquois?
The Iroquois. I know it's an Indian word, right?
It's Illinois. Illini.
Illini. What is the Illini tribe?
Yes.
That's
the University of Illinois, the Fighting Illini, man. Go Illini.
Do they get shit for that?
Oh God, I don't know how they don't, because it is a big giant fucking Indian head and stuff like the Redskins had.
Yeah, you only hear about the Redskins. I never hear about the Fighting Illini.
Big Ten.
You never hear like the Nebraska Fighting Jews. Like that wouldn't go over well. Like why are we like totally cool with like screwing with the Indians?
Actually, Nebraska, if
you're listening... I think it's the South Carolina Fighting Jews.
Yeah, Nebraska, if you're listening, if you would like to change your name from the Cornhuskers to the Fighting Jews, I will not be a Badgers fan any longer. I will become a Fighting Jews fan.
I would have to say, like, I being Jewish, I wouldn't mind being the Fighting Jews. It's better than most things that like that's probably one of the better stereotypes we can get.
So if you're going to be the Fighting Jews,
right?
could you would it be okay to steal your team mascot, your team emblem from the Fighting Irish, but you've got like a little yarmulke on and maybe a Hasidic beard, but you're still in that fighting pose? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine. I would, and yeah, we'll replace the clover leaves with dollar signs.
He's holding like an old school mace.
Um,
What could go wrong?
what could go wrong? Is it like weird? You're like, okay, you Indians, we're not Indians. We're just gonna call you fucking Indians. We're gonna wipe out your people, but we'll call the state after one of your names. Okay, how's that sound?
Yeah, you all are going to have to move out to the Western Territories to reservations where you'll slowly die, but we'll remember you here when we build when we start our colleges and have a football team and put your faces on McDonald's glasses during the season.
So, what do you think about the statues coming down? The big like, the liberal left wants to take down the statues. The liberal right wants swastikas on the statues.
They want to build more statues.
I mean, the conservative right. Yeah. What do you think about that, John?
I see. My whole thing is, I'm one of those people that believes that if you give it mouth service, if you give it attention, that's what keeps it going. I mean, all that shit was on the decline until we hit a 24-hour news cycle in our history, and then like racism and shit started just coming back and growing. And not racism as in happening every day on the streets, just racism that you see shoved into your face every day on a fucking screen, whether it be a computer screen or a television screen or whatever you're watching. Racism is rampant out there. But I'll tell you what, in this town of 2,500 people where I live and there's only 3 black people, I don't see any racism at all. As far as the statues go, as far as the statues and everything go, I don't see the point. I mean, if it's part of what your town is and shit, that's fine. You know, the town should decide. You know who they need to get on the phone, Mark? They need to get the mayor of the town on the phone and let him and the town council decide whether or not to take this statue down.
Can we get your mayor on the show?
Can we get? You mean the mayor / podcast host?
What do you think? What are the big, like, to become? Let's say you want to become mayor of your town. There's 2,500 people. What would you have to do to become mayor of your town?
There's absolutely no way I could. I was not born here. I do not have the same last name as 90% of the town. It wouldn't happen here. Small town Midwestern farm politics. That's not gonna happen.
Is it a full-time job, the mayor?
I seriously doubt it because we only have like 3 parades a year, and that's the only time I ever see the mayor.
Like he's like, okay, gotta get working that parade, then I'm done for the year.
Yep, got it. Oh, did you get the goddamn Tootsie Rolls? Well, what the fuck are we supposed to throw now? What are we supposed to throw? I'm not gonna wave the whole fucking time. I want to throw candy. God damn it, I'm the mayor. Where's my fucking top hat?
The rest of the year your mayor just fucking girls in bar bathrooms?
Actually, I think the mayor, like in a little town right next to us, Prairie City, we actually know the mayor personally, and because it's smaller than here. Oh, it's like 350 people.
We hang out with the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor of I'll say it, Prairie City. Now, how's that for an Illinois name, Prairie City? It's not a city by any means.
Is the mayor a squirrel?
No, I'm just saying that around here, if you're a town official, you're not getting paid like you think, like most people think town officials do. You have a regular job. It's almost like you are already a podcaster. You're not paying your way with what you're doing as mayor or podcasting. You have a regular job to help out and make ends meet.
Would the role of mayor would be 25% of your responsibilities are throwing parades and 75% of your responsibilities are getting people off of meth?
Oh, around here, yes. Actually, that is a very pervasive problem. Very, very pervasive problem. In fact, if I could share something very quickly, Sunday in a little town called Avon, which everybody around here pronounce Avon. Avon, we went to a bar for our NFL fantasy draft.
Okay.
And I'm stepping outside during a part of this at one point and having a cigarette with one of the guys in the draft and everything. And there's a kid, a younger guy, probably in his like late 20s maybe. He's out there. He's got a light bulb shaped head and like these huge teeth. And have you ever seen the bad teeth where it's not like the whole tooth that's bad? It's just like the top eighth of it has got like this like blue fungus shit on it and everything. It's kind of a methy thing. And
John, do you give out prizes at the end of the show if like throughout the entire show you can keep your meal down?
Oh no, it gets better. He's out there in the smoking area and he's not smoking a cigarette. He's showing, I mean, he's got his teeth bared. Like he's got these tiny thin lips, he's got his teeth bared, and he's just gnawing on this fucking cinnamon stick, an actual cinnamon stick, not a candy, a cinnamon stick. a piece of curled up dried bark. I mean, he's chewing on that. And I got out there and we were sitting there talking, and he keeps trying to interject, and it's like, God, why are these people always wanting to talk to me? And I asked him, I'm like, well, what's up with the cinnamon stick, man? What are you trying to quit? Oh, I'm trying to quit smoking. I've heard that this helps you quit smoking. And he's just fucking gnawing on it. And I wish I had more to go with here, but I had nothing to say to him because I've never heard of, if I'm going to quit smoking, let's see, well, I can take a program, or I can take a patch, or I can chew some gum. I can chew on a fucking cinnamon stick while my teeth are going to hell. And I don't know.
Did you want to ask him smoking what?
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's actually fairly well known as someone who partakes in the methamphetamine.
Okay, so was he trying to get off of meth, or was he trying to get off of cigarettes so he could spend more time on meth?
Yeah, cigarettes, I'm sure. Who gets off meth once you start that? Once you've smoked something out of a light bulb, I think you're pretty much hooked.
Yeah, no, I would say it's not like, oh, before I started my venture capital firm, I used to smoke meth. Like, it's not usually life.
The big thing around here now is smoking Adderall.
Instead of meth, I thought meth keeps you awake. Does Adderall keep you like? Is it like I want to like? Is the whole point of that
instantly?
I want to do drugs, but also ace the SATs?
No, I'm just kind of funning with that. But I had read somewhere, and it was on the internet, so it's probably true, that there are only just a couple of little tiny differences in the chemical makeup of meth and the chemical makeup of Adderall.
There are only a tiny couple of different chemical makeup differences between us and monkeys.
Right.
Yeah. But I know Adderall is supposed to it's supposed to make you more awake, or it's supposed to help your attention. That's
so is meth.
A lot of students take it now and so they can study more.
Right, because it's basically it's basically like methamphetamine.
Well, so I've tried a number of drugs. Not recently, but when I was younger. But I've never tried meth, and I probably would never try meth. Have you ever tried meth, Brian? I mean, either of you?
No.
Allegedly, perhaps.
Okay, so what was the experience like that allegedly you had?
Actually, it wasn't so much. It was a focus thing. That's where I kind of when I saw the article about Adderall, I kind of got drawn in. It was I've only done it a couple of times because it is absolutely nasty. It's the way you do it is just horrible. Whether you're smoking it or snorting it, folks, and kids, stay in school. Don't do the math. And remember, everything on the Random Ass Radio Network is a joke. But no, you either snort it and it's like snorting crushed glass, or you smoke it and it's like smoking crushed glass, or fucking hot cat piss. But once you do, there's a clarity. Is basically what I got from it was colors and everything. Just not in an LSD or trippy kind of way. Everything just fucking stood out, in stark contrast to everything else. Colors were bright and right there and clearly delineated and everything. And I don't know. But the only problem with that is the side effect of that is you don't sleep for fucking 7 months. So, and I have insomnia anyway since high school. I did it a couple times, and I'm like, oh no, fuck no, this is not for me.
How long are you actually, without making a joke, how long are you actually awake for when you do it?
I was up for 3 days. But that was also, when you're doing it, you don't just do it once. You do it till it's all gone. And about 3 days, yeah. 3 days and then a big crash. And then almost a divorce, but now we're all here happy and free today. Remember, folks, this isn't 46-year-old me saying this. This was like 20 years ago or better. But
well, I've allegedly tried coke in the past, and that also wakes you up. But how is it different?
I don't. You know what? When it was cocaine. I may have also allegedly tried that numerous times. And that all depends on how you've tried it. As far as staying up for days just because you're snorting it, no. But if you've ever put fire to it and smoked it, that
crack, you mean?
Well, not even crack. See, I never hit the rocks until after I graduated from snorting to foils. And folks, again, kids, if you're listening, your parents are horrible. Why aren't you in fucking bed?
John, I'm forgetting the joke. Do you think any kids listen to your show? Is anyone like, oh yeah?
I'm thinking no. I'll guarantee you. I'll guarantee you there are people. I don't mean kids like 5 or 6 years old, but I bet you there's some fucking squeakers and everything else out there that listen to this shit just because I say cuss words and talk like I do.
Can we have a challenge? if you're under 18, can you please just let us know? You don't have to say. Just let John know. I want to know if there's one listener under 18.
No, don't contact me if you're under 18. Do not contact me if you are under the age of 18.
If you're under 18, can you send dirty pictures to John and get him arrested?
So wait, getting back to this though, you say you're up for 3 days. Now, are you like really like up doing stuff for 3 days, or are you just like laying in bed like I can't believe I did this. I can't fucking sleep for 3 days.
No, that's smoking cocaine. The methamphetamine makes you very productive. You think of all kinds of different shit you want to do, and you actually start doing it.
No, I mean on meth.
Yeah, you're up for 3 days, but you're doing shit.
Oh, all right.
So like you're like, oh,
That's what I mean. It's a lot. That's everything I've heard about Adderall. It sounds a lot like meth.
It's like, oh, it's 4 a.m. I'm gonna build a shed out in the backyard.
No, it's more like it's 4 a.m. I just got a vision from God. I'm gonna build a life-size ark and put velociraptors on it.
Oh.
Okay. Would you do this in like Roman times to
Yes,
velociraptor?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't think I will. I think while it was convincing, I don't think I need 3 days of productivity. So I'm going to choose sleep.
Oh,
I'm
I
going
do
to
too.
choose.
You
I'm
see,
going to choose.
Do you
the
guys?
drug that lets me sleep for 3 days would probably be better than the drug that keeps me awake for 3 days.
If you find that, let me know, because that is since high school, since about maybe 9th grade, 8th, 9th grade, I do not sleep. I have horrible insomnia. I have to go to bed at like 7 o'clock just to maybe get fucking 4 or 5 hours, and those are not uninterrupted.
That's how
hours.
I am.
Yeah.
That's how I am.
John, what if you? So I read this report. It was in the New England Journal of Medicine. They said that a big cause of and a big way to fix insomnia is it's podcasting. If you eliminate podcasting, you sleep better. Would you do it?
Oh.
And that was a real study I made up.
Yeah, I absolutely could not, because as anybody who listens here, like those of you that are listening now, familiar with my side of the show here, you all know that I don't do this for you at all. This is just all about me. So, no, I couldn't give it up. It'd be too much like giving up a part of myself.
Could actually, just thinking about this now also, we're about an hour or so into the show. And for our listeners, the Brink of Sanity listeners, would you mind introducing yourself, John?
Hi, folks. My name is John Wilcox. I host the Random Ass Radio program, as well as all the other fine programming on the Random Ass Radio Network. If you would like to find any of that fine Random Ass Radio Network programming, please go quickly to your browser and type in randomassradio.com and just follow some links. You'll figure it out.
There's a show on a totally different topic. Do you guys know Penn and Teller?
Yes. Favorites of mine.
So they have a new show, or I don't know how new it's new as in like it's been on. It's under 10 years on TV. It's a show where they maybe a non-professional magician comes on, or just someone that's not as big as Penn Teller. They do a trick, and Penn and Teller have to guess how the trick was done. Do you guys know what the show is? Have you guys heard of this?
No, what's that on, though? That sounds fascinating. I actually would watch that.
So doesn't that sound awesome? Like I heard about the show. I think it maybe been on for 2 seasons, and so they have a magician does like a card trick or some other like trick, and Penn and Teller obviously they're very seasoned magicians, and they guess how it's done, and that sounds awesome, except for they don't tell you how the trick is actually done. Penn and Teller just use like code words back and forth just to say like we figured it out, and the magician in the show, based on how they talk, knows whether they really figured it out or not. But you, the home watcher, does not ever find out how the show is done.
That's annoying.
It's the worst fucking show I've ever seen in my life.
So what? Yeah, they have this clever patter, but you never get included into what the clever patter is?
Exactly. They go clever patter back and forth. They use some code things like, they're like, oh, you must use the river wave to do this. And they're like, oh, you figured it out. And I'm watching them like, I haven't figured out shit. Could you just tell me how the trick is done? I'm just watching only to find out how the trick is done. It's like watching American Idol, and I don't watch American Idol. It's like American Idol, but you're not allowed to listen to them sing.
I would actually watch.
That might be better, but
I don't think that's a good analogy.
That was a terrible analogy.
Yeah.
John, if you can give me some meth, I'll spend 3 days and come up with a better analogy.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you
It
what.
would
Just,
be
all
like-
you have
it
to
would-
do
you know what it
anymore.
would-
All you
it
have
would-
to do is dial 1-800-meth, and you're
It would
in,
be
right
it
there.
would be like listening to this podcast without the introductions. That's what it'd be like.
No, all the introductions, but folks, all the introductions on the Random Ass Radio Network are brought to you by methamphetamine.
What if your only sponsor would be an underground meth lab? Would you be like okay with it?
If they were actually giving me money, unlike all these ungrateful fucks that listen for free, and you all know who you are, yeah.
Do you find the best way to get money? For your
I want
show
this.
is to
I want
call
like,
your-
I want Sam Crow. I want Sam Crow to fucking to sponsor me. I want some biker meth lab gang to be like,
Are you
yeah.
Are you a fan of that show?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I watched the entire season. I got into it halfway after it was out and binged it and then followed it through to the end.
One of our listeners, Steven, some other people also recommended the show Sons of Anarchy, and I watched it maybe 6 months ago. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, it was really done. I mean, toward the end, the last couple seasons kind of jumped the shark and shit like they always do, but not bad.
It was good enough. It was entertaining. It was very entertaining.
Any show where you get a cameo by Stephen King of all people as a cleaner, that's always cool.
And Carmelo Anthony of the New York Knicks.
Yeah, right,
You know
right,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, he's just randomly
For
on
now.
an episode. Yes, just for now of the Knicks. But Carmelo Anthony just kind of appears on an episode. And you're like, wait, is that Carmelo Anthony? And then he's done. I don't know. Did you watch The Shield?
No, that's one everybody needs to tell me. It tells me I need to watch, and also Homeland. And I want to watch Homeland because I have this weird thing for Claire Danes.
You know what? The show will cure you of that because Claire Danes' character is so goddamn annoying that the only thing that'll make me watch that show anymore if they'll take Dexter from Dexter and have him kill Claire Danes' character on the show. That would get me to watch the show again.
They'd find a way to fuck that up.
Her character is, she's, forget what you think of her as a person, whatever, but the character is so goddamn annoying. I watched 3 seasons of that show, but eventually I couldn't take her character anymore.
Talking to Bry, if you're a Dexter fan, I mean, after the Trinity season, it kind of sucked after that. It went to shit. And the final
Yeah,
season pisses
I don't
me
even
off to no end.
acknowledge it after that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, after season 4 and also season 4 ended such a great ending, and then it was fucking awful after that. But I mentioned The Shield because the guy who produced the Sons of Anarchy, the head writer, was one of the head writers for The Shield.
And of course, let me make sure I remember this correctly. The Shield is the cop drama with the Thing in it, right?
The Thing.
Checklist, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's Chickless. Yeah, but it was the reason I want to watch The Shield because I like Sons of Anarchy so much, and I think it's a very similar show as far as the writing.
Well, that
It's
would be
the
cool.
same.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm looking for a new show to binge on. What do you guys recommend?
Have you ever watched Difficult People on Hulu? If you were looking for something light and quick with Billy Eichner and some chubby redheaded chick.
Oh, no, I've not watched that. I've seen Billy Eichner's show. What's the one we just in the street where you asks people questions on the street?
I think that's called Billy on the Street.
Okay, I think you're right. That's a funny show.
Yeah.
Difficult
He does one. It's called Difficult People on Hulu, and it's actually we're binging that right now. I've gone back. Hulu I didn't get at first. I had Netflix and everything, and I'm like, well, we got Hulu, but fuck this. And then of all things, I'm like, oh, well, I can binge something. I went back and I binged The State. Do you guys remember the sketch comedy show The State?
Oh yeah, that was a great.
Oh, that was a really good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I went and watched, and then I just got done binging Community on there, and then I'm like, oh, fuck, well, they've got some original shows, so I watched their, the one with James Franco about the Kennedy assassination. I did that one.
Oh, was that good? I
The
wanted to see
Stephen
that.
King one. The Stephen King one.
That's incredible. Yeah, the Stephen King one. That's incredibly good. It's very good, and I hate James Franco. I really dislike James Franco, but he's good in that.
Oh. Now I kind of want to get Hulu. I don't have Hulu, but now I might be
Netflix, if you haven't watched Game of Cards, or House of Cards. If you have not watched House of Cards.
I've watched House of Cards.
Oh, House of Cards.
I just started watching Narcos. You guys watch Narcos?
Oh, no, but that's another one I've been told. You need to watch this. You got to watch this, dude.
And I just watched 2 episodes of it. It's pretty good so far. I don't know if we're gonna get hooked, but it's pretty good so far.
There's also the Jason Bateman one about the cartel and shit. I can't remember what it's called, unless maybe it's called the cartel.
Ozark.
Ozark.
My wife and I just started that one. the Narcos I watch on the train, the commute to work. But we just started Ozark the other night.
Good.
The first episode was a little weird. It was okay. I can't tell if it's going to be good or not yet. But it's been recommended to us also by a bunch of people. So
Yeah, I like the Jason Bateman. I just recently, a couple years ago, saw quite possibly my favorite Jason Bateman movie, a movie called Bad Words, where he's in a spelling bee.
oh, I never heard of that.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, though.
I'll guarantee you, if both of you would do me this favor, when you get a chance, watch that, and then let me know what you thought, because it is something I kind of was like, oh, that might be clever and cute or whatever. No, it's fucking outstanding. It's
Is
a
it on
really
Netflix?
great movie. You know what? It might very well be. It might very well be. If not,
I'm going to find out right now.
Bad Words with Jason Bateman, folks.
Find out exclusively on the Brink of Ass podcast whether Bad Words is on
it's not on my cable. I just searched my guide for it.
Bad Santa was funny.
About
I didn't
Santa.
see Bad Santa's 2.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've gotten no.
It's
why?
not on Netflix. Sorry.
Well, you know what? I never would encourage this among anyone, but that's usually something, folks. If you know what a torrent file is, you can get that and play it pretty easy.
But while looking for that, I found there's a lot of Care Bears movies and shows, and that my daughter will appreciate. So, Brian, what do you recommend?
I haven't really watched much lately. I still think you should watch Brockmire.
Oh yeah, I don't know how to watch that.
What about what's the one on Showtime? God damn it! With sorry, my brain I shouldn't even have opened my mouth.
Ray
Donovan, thank you.
That's the show I've been watching. I'm on the 4th season. A lot of people told me like it's a good show, but the 4th season kind of like gets and the 4th season's kind of blah right now. It's a good show. It's not amazing. It's good though.
Lev Schreiber, right? Is that
Liv Schreiber? Yeah. What's his name? The dad in that show is the best character. John Voight.
John Voight, yeah.
John Voight is a fantastic character. He's by far the best character on the show.
Have you ever seen John Voight in Midnight Cowboy with Dustin Hoffman?
I've not. I've heard that's good. I'm probably never going to watch it.
No,
Yeah, me either.
probably not. But you know what? It's almost worth it. It's a piece of cinematic history, man.
Speaking of history, achieving history, John, would you like to achieve history with us by doing questions from our fans?
You know what? This has been what I've been looking forward to this whole show. I'm just wondering who it is that I can upset tonight to where your next episode is nothing but apologies to this person.
Okay, we're gonna go for that.
Okay.
Let's see what we got here. Hang on. Here. Okay, here we go. So, Eros writes, what do you call a black guy flying a plane? A pilot, you racist motherfucker. That wasn't really quite a question, but
And it was
I guess
actually
that's
it's a very, very old joke. Actually, I've heard it in the version of and this is not a callback, everyone. It's just I've heard it an astronaut. What do you call a black astronaut?
an astronaut, you motherfucker.
Yeah, you racist motherfucker.
What do you call a guy with a mega church? A goddamn fraud, Joel Osteen. Liam writes, with the flooded houses Hurricane Harvey has done, why would anyone get a Dame house? Do those sectors have mandatory flood insurance, or does the government respond for them with some emergency grant?
They probably had flood insurance just being by the water. They do like that
I don't know.
area. I'm sure inland like Houston probably doesn't, but
Yeah,
unless
it's like-
unless they're below sea level like New Orleans.
I'm about a mile from the water here, and we don't have flood insurance. It's not covered. I mean, we would be just fucked if we had a flood.
Do you?
A girl I
Brian-
work with lives what?
Oh no, go ahead, man.
I was just saying, a girl I work with lives like a block and a half from the beach, and she said her flood insurance is like through the roof. She's trying to sell her house, and she can't because nobody wants to pay the flood insurance.
I mean, most of us, I assume, will be underwater in like 20 years, and my house will be a terrible investment. Yeah, flood insurance is probably pretty expensive to get.
Yeah.
Do you have flood insurance, John?
No, I live in the Midwest.
Do you want me to? I can sell you flood insurance.
Actually, though, you got to remember back in the 90s, we had a horrible flood that needed national assistance when the Mississippi flooded after it rained for 5,000 days straight. But no, around here, it's not so much flood insurance unless you live right on one of the rivers, the Illinois or the Mississippi. And again, folks, there's no silent S. It's Illinois. If it was Illinois, then it would be Ippy. All right? There's no silent S's in states. But if you have you don't have flood insurance unless you live right along there where you know you're going to get flooded, and then you're a dumbass if you don't buy it. But living here in this state, a thing that I found out through a job that I had before is there's such a thing as sump pump insurance. If you live in a place or an area where your water table is such that your basement floods when it rains a whole lot, or you don't have proper, duct work or not duct work, but guttering on your house that pushes the water not away from your house, but lets it all flood into your basement. If your basement floods and you do not have that, which is, folks, if you're listening, this is going to save you some money in the future. This is not something that comes automatically with homeowners insurance. You have to click that little rider. You have to check that little rider and say, no, I need sump pump insurance. Because I worked for a company that would take care of flooded basements, and that was one of the first things we had to check on with people, and they would flip the fuck out. 6 inches of standing water in their basement, and everything's fucking ruined. And it's like, well, we got insurance, so do whatever you need to do. Well, I'm going to need you to go ahead and call your insurance and ask them, or maybe see if you have a rider in there for sump pump insurance because it's your sump pump that failed.
So if you made it through a half hour of shit comedy, you're in luck because now we have provided you with good advice for insuring your home in the future against flood damage.
Well, you know what? I bet there's a bunch of motherfuckers in Houston that are listening real hard right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I listened to Brink of Saturday last week before the flood. I think there is some kind of national. So a lot of people in Houston probably do not have flood insurance. I do think there is some kind of national. When these kind of things happen, there is some kind of national emergency insurance for this, and people do get they do.
I
try
think
to help
that's the name of the company, isn't it? National Emergency Insurance. National Emergency Insurance.
.com.
.com. You know what? This internet thing is pretty huge. Maybe when we do our jingle, we'll sing .com. Jaime writes, what happens? Totally out of order. I went out of order. Hang on, let me go back to the top. Okay. Jason writes, do people hate Donald Trump because it's the trending thing to do and all the hipsters are doing it?
No.
What? What kind of inane bullshit question is that, Jason?
That's our questions.
No, that's a very leading troll-like question. Most people dislike Donald Trump because they disagree with his politics or even with him as just a human being. John,
are you a big anti-Trump person?
I'm not a big anti-Trump person. But you have to admit that it is just a big fucking turd show right now.
Well,
it makes me embarrassed to be American. You know what I mean? It's like, all right.
Would you be okay with having a debate right now? I will take Donald Trump's side in this. I'll take the side that Donald Trump has been a great president, and I'll debate you.
How can you? All right. I guess okay, that's fine.
Are you up for this?
We'll start the debate with this.
Why don't we just stick with the questions?
How can you? Brian sees where it's going. Brian sees where it's going. No, how can you even? How can you judge it?
4 hours.
How can you judge a president in any way, shape, or form, in a true way, whether they're a good president or a bad president, when they haven't even been in office a year?
The great Trump. Let's see. Since he's been president, no Muslims have dared attack us from the said named countries that he banished the people from.
That's a very viable point.
I'll tell you this. There better not be any transgender people helping out there in Texas.
Since Donald Trump has been president, all the white people's insurance has gotten better.
Okay, now you know what? Actually, you've kind of keep going. I've been lied to by a bunch of fucking non-white people I've been talking to. Continue,
John. If your health insurance has gotten worse, well, I hate to break it to you, John, you're no longer white.
Health insurance, please tell me more. What's that?
Since Donald Trump has been president, many what the fuck else has he done? He's kept Congress, which everyone hates, has been unable to do anything. So he's held back Congress from doing anything. He's defeated them. What are your arguments for him being a bad president, John?
I just arguments for him being a bad president. I guess actually my only argument would be is when have we ever had any type of good luck when we have hired someone to run our country that has been an enormous person in either business or in the media. I mean, we hired a reality TV star to run our country, and we hired a failed real estate mogul. How many times to run our country? That's my big problem right there, and a man who's just really very unlikable.
Getting past that, he has made some citizens feel better about themselves. He's helped the self-esteem of the white supremacist movement, and that's a percentage of our population that did not feel good about themselves prior to this. He has told off many nations. Australia doesn't mess with us anymore. North Korea, they haven't released a nuclear warhead on us yet, so that's another positive.
Okay, well, how about this? As a bald man, I am a bald man. And I found that when I became a bald man, I wasn't going to try and hide the fact that I'm a bald man. I fucking shaved that shit off, and I wore it. I didn't try a comb over. I didn't try this fucking, 7 strands of thickly woven together shit that's all spray painted, fucking hairspray and everything. I didn't do any of that. Why does our president have that ridiculous bald covering fucking hair?
So, something you don't know about the president. His hair, the reason he has it that way is because it provides a home for very small dragons with boobs. They have no other home, and they live on his head.
Well, now I'm just going to start crying. Now I feel so... Mr. Trump, if you're listening, President Trump, if you're listening, I'm so very sorry. So very sorry that I even doubt Marc. Now just tell me this. Just tell me this one thing, because I know you don't drive to work, right? You still do your 2-mile walk.
Well, that's to get to the train, and I usually sometimes I'll get a ride to the train station, but I usually take the train into the New York City to go to work.
But you do have
I
do
do
have a
the
car.
2 mile. I have a car. I have 2 cars. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Do either one of them have a bumper sticker that reads "Fighting Jews for Trump"?
I wish if I was going to get a bumper sticker, it would reference fighting Jews. Hopefully with the Jews, not against the Jews.
Isn't that what Michael Vick went to jail for?
Fighting? No, he was fighting dogs.
Oh,
Jews.
that's right.
But equating the two of them makes me feel good about being on the show.
He was having his dogs were fighting Jews. That was what was happening.
Right? Yeah.
No, I think the dogs were fighting the Jews. That was during the Holocaust. But thank you. Jason writes, "What is your opinion about Colin Kaepernick not getting signed? I, for one, am happy we are not rewarding people with the hate America attitude or white people who have white guilt."
The Jacksonville Jaguars signed Kaepernick Sunday. So your question is bullshit. No, it is. Jacksonville signed him.
Well, hang on, but is Jacksonville?
I saw that posted there. I couldn't find it anywhere else.
Are they a real football team?
Not really. Not with Blake Bortles behind center.
I don't see anything about him being signed.
I saw something on Facebook about that, but when I went to a couple of NFL sites, I didn't see anything about it.
Oh, well then, I guess I'm wrong.
No, they're saying they should sign him, but like all these questions are about like
he's clearly both being blackballed because of that, and he's not that good anymore. But he's better than a lot of backup quarterbacks, and he should have a job. And the whole thing is so stupid because they never, except for the Super Bowl, they never show the national anthem. So who really cares what anybody does?
Why is the national anthem sung at football games?
Why is it sung anywhere? I don't understand.
What about like playing football or baseball or soccer or hockey says like, let's sing our national anthem before they start? Like why would you sing it? Yeah. There's no connection.
The whole thing, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, there's like it'd be like doing it at work every day. Or be doing like every time we hit a stoplight, you have to sing the national anthem. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's so like.
Yeah.
No,
there's
traffic's
literally
bad
no
enough.
connection.
If you're at a stoplight, you have to say the pledge. How about that?
Why don't they sing the national anthem at Broadway shows? Like it's just as absurd.
Or at the movies.
Yeah. Why don't we
Or at airports.
yeah.
Why not make bus fare? How about there's no such
the whole
thing
thing
as
is so
bus
stupid.
fare
They
anymore? You just
never
sing the
show
national
it.
anthem.
I want someone to just explain to me. Forget the whole like his controversy with Kaepernick. Well, how did he go from like one of like the for a short time he looked like he was going to be the best quarterback in the NFL.
I want to
and
answer
now
this.
he's awful. What happened to him?
I want to answer this because, first of all and foremost, I am a Green Bay Packers fan, and as much as it pains me to say this, Colin Kaepernick owned the fucking Packers in the playoffs for a couple years.
Yeah, they couldn't figure him out at all.
Fuck, nobody, but then that next year, after those 2 years, everybody figured out what Kaepernick did, and instead of improving his game, he tried to just keep doing the same thing, and everything floundered. And that. My whole point is this entire sitting during the national anthem bullshit started because a fucking quarterback that peaked and then saw himself going out, use that, knew he was going to get cut that year, and then use that as a way to like, okay, touch me now. And I'm not against the movement itself. I mean, there's a slippery slope between free speech and what you do at work. I mean, free speech is for free gathering of people in a public place to say what they want. When you're at work, your work does have guidelines. I mean, I can't come over to Marc's house and kick the door in and start saying, hey, has anybody given you this copy of Mein Kampf? Let me read out loud to y'all from Mein Kampf. It's my free speech. You can't do it like that. But no, I'm sorry. The whole Kaepernick thing, Jason Kaepernick started a movement that had nothing to do with what he really believed like that. He just wanted to keep his fucking job. And
That's not true. He volunteered. He volunteers all the time. All that stuff. Go look it up. Look at all the charity work he does.
Well, I believe the charity work he does and everything. But when did that start? Did that start about the time he started? I mean, where was all this shit when he was on top with the Niners?
Well, that was before this country started going to hell in a handbasket.
Right. Country was perfect 7 years ago.
Well, there was no. I mean, cops weren't shooting black people every 2 days 5 years ago.
No,
I'm
just
pretty sure-
people
I'm pretty
just
sure
weren't
I'm-
talking about it.
Right, I'm pretty sure they were. So
Well, they were. Yeah, I mean,
Cops
they've been doing it for
cops have been shooting black people for a long. Even when it was just like crossbows and shit, they were shooting black people.
Jason writes, Mark, will you encourage your son to buy a house or rent early? I'm a college student and my parents are telling me I should buy a cheap condo in the Bronx or Yonkers to start off and skip renting altogether.
In 6 months, you could get a real cheap house in Texas.
They even offered to help.
That's true.
They even offered to help me with the 15% of the total cost. I would say if you're don't just buy in a place so you can like if it's like it's one thing if you want to live in the Bronx, then it makes sense, or live in Yonkers. But if you don't want to live there, if it's going to be inconvenient to live there, and you're just buying it for the sake of like investing, I don't think it's a great idea. But it probably would make sense if you're going to live there, buy, and then you probably would make some money on it later on.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to live like in Pennsylvania, I wouldn't buy a place in the Bronx.
Yes, that would be kind of a bad commute.
Yeah.
John, what do you think? Should you buy a place early?
Insofar as what do you consider early for buying a place?
Well, he says he's a college student, and his parents will help him buy a place. They'll give him like a 15% down payment, and then he'll pay the mortgage / rent on that place.
You know what? Take advantage of that then, dude. Get a place. Totally get a place. Totally take advantage of your parents. Never fucking pay them back. Let that still be the thing 20 years from now that you all fucking have underlying that makes you all angry at Thanksgiving. Do that. Do that.
Okay, John, we have an intellectual question for you.
Oh, you are shit out of luck.
Okay, just stay with me and see if we can follow. Rosero writes, if you went to prison, how would you plan on surviving a rape from a big colored guy?
Why is he gonna be colored?
Because that's what the question says. I don't know.
Oh.
What color?
It just says colored. He could be whatever colors the crayons want to. Whatever you want to color him, he could be
if
orange.
I was going to go to prison and I knew I was going to go to prison, I would probably like kind of throw myself out there for some rape before I had to go and just kind of teach myself to like it. So when I got in there, because rape isn't about the sex. Rape is about, being all fucking powerful over somebody and the person you're raping is terrified. So I just maybe, just sit there and push back against them and act like I'm all into it.
Well, I think in prison it has a little something to do with sex too.
I don't think so.
Would you feel?
I think those guys are just lonely and misunderstood.
Would you feel undesirable if no one wanted to rape you?
I would be so fucking sad. I would be fucking heartbroken. Really, I can't even get fucked in prison. I can't get randomly fucked in prison. Because, I've lived a life where I've never been, out, and I've never, gotten, like Brian, went and got a fucking random blowjob in a car. I've never gotten that. Now, I did get married early, in my 20s. I've been married for 25 years and shit, but I've never had that kind of random encounter. And if I got to prison where I couldn't even get that kind of random encounter, I would be kind of devastated. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Yeah, that would be. Do you think it would increase or decrease your chance of being raped in prison if you took off your shirt when you went to the bathroom?
Isn't that actually kind of a thing anyway? Isn't that some sort of sign, which handkerchief you wear your pocket in, or which pocket you have your handkerchief in? Yeah.
I think it's you take. Brian, would you continue to take your shirt off when you go to the bathroom if you were in prison?
If I went to prison, I'd be a snitch just to get out of there and just get me by myself. And if there's a riot and they kill me, then they kill me.
What if
I gotta get out of general population because I'm not gonna make it.
What if snitching meant Jay would go to jail?
Would I get out or would I still be in?
Did you snitch on Jewish? Okay, Rosaire writes.
Hey, you gotta survive one day at a time.
Okay, Rosaire writes. Why do you think the CPA has been so difficult for Jason to pass? And once he does, what pay increase can he expect? Is this average, or is Jay just not smart enough for that level of material?
Jay, are you asleep?
He claims. So now, if you want to rip on him, go, Bri.
What was the question again?
Why do you think the CPA has been so difficult for Jason to pass? And once he does, what pay increase can he expect?
If he does.
Well, and once he does, whatever. Thanks for making it more uncertain. Is this average, or is Jay just not smart enough for that level of material? So why do you think Jay's been having so much trouble passing the CPA?
Well, I've known Jay 20 years, and wow, it's 20 years now. He never seemed to be that.
Do you want to commemorate that on Facebook?
Actually, I think it's been 21 years, actually. Jay, our friendship, we could drink now. We're 21. Jay's never struck me as being interested in math and that kind of stuff.
Okay, so
he was in communications, and then he did criminal justice for a week, and then he did communications or business or whatever. And
has he made a poor choice going for a profession that involves a lot of math?
I don't know. I don't know if he's good at math. I just don't ever remember him caring about math.
If you were gonna bet money on Jay passing the CPA, how much money would you bet? How much money would you be comfortable?
What kind of odds am I getting?
Well, a straight bet. If I was gonna bet, and I just for the sake of
speaking of bets, I have a question for when we're done with this little.
Okay, so just
here.
Okay, just for a straight. If I was gonna bet against Jay, how much money? If I was I was gonna bet you $50, would you bet $50 in Jay passing?
Yeah.
500.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
5,000.
I you know how much money I lose gambling? I'll fucking bet.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, so $5,000 in Jay.
$5,000. Does Jay pay me back if he doesn't win?
No, no, you're just out the money.
Am I betting it? Am I betting it to you?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
5,000 might be tough.
Okay. Well, we just see how much you love Jay.
Yeah.
John, why do you think it's Jay's having trouble passing the CPA?
See, actually, I am at a disadvantage here. I do not know Jay as you fellows do, and I am super surprised at you, Jay, that you have not passed it. As I've stated a million times, they let you use a calculator. You even get you have paper that it all prints out on that you can go back and check your answers on. So I don't know where you're failing at.
It sounds like to me. So I think as far as the pay increase, I think he's talking about his pay can increase 50%. So that's a pretty solid increase. I think it's also a really hard exam. Hence the fact they pay you more money for it. forgetting it.
But I don't think if Jay passed it on Friday and he walked into his job on Monday, like he's getting double the money.
Don't tell him that.
Well, no, he,
like I
isn't
think
that,
like
isn't
they're
that the
gonna give
point
him
is,
like
isn't-
if he becomes quote unquote a CPA or whatever and like he's at his job, like then they're gonna give him a job that like he's not gonna be doing
Do you want
what
to
he
play?
does all day, which I don't know what he does all day at a double pay rate.
Brian, do you want to cut to the scene where Jay asks for a raise? You could be Jay.
Okay.
Hey Jay. What's going on? Why are you in my office?
Two things actually. First is, do you know who's pissing on the seats in the bathroom?
Jay's
No,
posting.
that's another time. We'll save that for another time. So I got this piece of paper here that says I passed these stupid 4 tests in 17 months and 28 days.
Oh, congratulations! That's
Oh,
wonderful.
yeah, thank you. Yes.
Do you? Here's a cookie.
Oh, thank you. You have milk or no? Okay, never mind.
They have milk
So-
in the office cafeteria. Go get some milk and get the fuck out of my face.
So I'm a CPA now. So why don't you lick the back of my balls and give me some money?
Oh, you're a CPA. That's fantastic. How about for a bonus? I'll give you some advice, and the advice is leave.
Like take the rest of the day off?
Sure, take the rest of your life off. Bye.
Oh.
I think Jay has to get a new job to get a raise.
Yeah.
Well, no,
which I think he'll
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go. Our skit's done.
Oh, no.
Go.
I was just gonna say, isn't the whole point of getting those letters, that CPA, is so when you hang out your own shingle, that's when you get. That's basically your 50% increase in pay. You're not doing the CPA shit for somebody else. You're doing it for yourself, and then you get to hire people that get to struggle like Jay did and use all their knowledge to continue to make more money for yourself. I mean, isn't that how that all works?
Could we change his name when he passes the exam to just CPA? Like, hey, what's up, CPA? It'd be cool.
Brinkofsanity.cpa.
See, we added to everything. The new, like, the Brink of Sanity T-shirts have the word CPA now on them.
If Jay was cool, he would actually just have T-shirts when he passed, printed up that just have CPA across the front of them, like CIA or CSI, and pass them out to all of his friends.
Jay, also a question. I know you might be listening to the show later. Does the P in CPA stand for pass? Hopefully. Or I think he's gonna. I'm gonna say so.
Yeah, CPA stands for can pass all of them.
Can you pass all? Yeah, there you go. That was some group
Said
thing.
somebody who is horrible at acronyms.
Or
So-
can't pass all of them.
Okay, so he passed the first one. The first one he took in May. The first one he's passed. He has 18 months from May to pass all 4. Let's assume, so we don't bet against him, that he will pass. Let's say, what month will he pass all the exams? Do you think it'll take him the full 18 months? How long?
Well, I don't know. How often are they available to take?
He can take them he can take them every 2 months if he wants, or every
So
month.
he's taking the next one, what, like in 2 weeks?
He's taking the next one beginning of September,
Alright.
like 2 weeks, and then he takes the following one. I think he's going to set in like November.
So 18 months from May would be May. So it'd be what, next December?
I'm going to say he can pass all 4 by next May. Would be doing it within a year. That's where I'm going to go. You're going to say under or over that?
I'll go under on that.
I need to know which ones he's taken and failed. Is he just kept taking the same one?
I think the one he passed, he took twice. But he can keep doing that. Like, can't he just keep taking them and failing until he passes?
Yeah. No, I just didn't know like if he's been taking the same one all this time, then logic would think it's going to take you that much. Like the next one's going to take him 3 times, and then 3 times, and 3 times, just based
You
on.
imagine it's just one question, and he keeps it's like A, B, C, and D, and he keeps answering A, and they're like, you fail.
So 18 months from May would be May. Yeah, it'd be next December, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I hope he passes before then, because like this could take forever. How will he kill himself next? Like he did business school that drove him crazy. Then the CPA. What comes next to drive himself crazy?
Oh, he'll buy a house, and then he'll have to like do yard work and like fix things and.
Liam writes, Mark, do you plan on working a 9 to 5 job your whole life till you get old, or do you have a business idea you could pressure? Share them with us. What could the word pressure be?
I don't know.
Let's try to get like Mark. Do you plan on working a 9 to 5 job your whole life till you get old, or do you have a business idea you would to pressure?
I think maybe that was supposed to be share.
Yeah, maybe let's go with share. So yeah, right now I plan on working a 9 to 5 job until I get old, because I have no better ideas. If you guys want to come up with a business idea on the show that we could like, my best business idea so far has been to win the lottery.
I have presented my business plan on this show, and we actually contacted someone at the Staples by the Staples Center.
Yes.
Mailed tacos. You mail tacos.
So John has already nailed it, and John is probably that's why he stopped working at 2:30 because he's wealthy now.
Right. I'm living off that mailed taco money, man. Thank you so much. What was her name?
Right. What do you do for a living?
I am a paralegal and bookkeeper in a law firm.
Okay. Is that like similar to being an accountant?
Kinda. I sort of just backed into that job because I knew our computer system. That's really the only way I ended up with that part of the job.
So are you like a maester? Do you have chains where you build links and everything as you as you keep the books?
No.
Oh.
Are you doing, because Jay does not work in an accounting job right now. Are you doing more of an accountant job without your CPA than Jay is doing?
I don't think I really do like accounting work. I just handle all the checks that come in for our clients and stuff, and just process them and take our fee out and then give them checks.
Isn't that kind of what accountants do?
I guess. I mean, it's very basic.
Like, are you achieving Jay's dreams without it, like before he can?
Well, I didn't want to tell him that, but it's possible.
Do you do any video editing also while you're?
No.
So, what's your business idea, Bri? Like, we need to.
Every now and then I have a couple of ideas, and I had one the other day, and now I can't remember what the hell it was.
So my first idea is to write them down, Bri.
Yeah.
Now I get at 50-50, so I contributed my share of the idea. What's your ideas?
I'm trying to think of what some of them were. Oh, one of the ideas I had that Jay said somebody already did it. I wanted to build. I forgot what he called it, but I wanted to buy one. Yeah, this website where you sell books, and then we're eventually going to sell everything. No, it was I want to buy like those old school like Bates Motels and like just like empty them out and like soundproof them and make them like sturdy, and then just have you could like you could go there and rent it for like an hour and just like break stuff and like punch the wall and like.
Yeah, Jay said they already had. I seen that actually online also. Like that is a real thing already.
Have you seen escape rooms?
I've seen. Yeah, I mean,
I've done one of those.
Have you?
It was
because it's weird. Actually, I'm in small little Midwestern area here and everything, and Avon, where I said we had our draft, is like maybe fucking 2,000 people, 1,800 people. The bar where we had it, the people who own it made a bar, first of all, way too nice, a sports bar, way too nice for this area, period. And across the street, they bought up all that, and they're going to make escape rooms out of it. I had never heard of this until that particular project got started. I didn't know this was a thing where you would pay money to go into a place just to try and get the fuck out of it.
Since you're in the Midwest, are the people that own it white and the people that have to escape not white?
Now, that in and of itself, Mark, makes me feel like I'm being marked with a bit of a stereotype here.
I've done the escape the room. We did like some kind of work outing where we did it. It was kind of fun. You like have to solve like clues and like figure out where the key is to get out. But it was kind of cool.
It'd be cooler if they did it like Saw.
Yes, it would be cool if you started off with like a dead body on the floor.
Well, no, if you actually like paid in real money, like you paid in $5,000, and they're like, all right, if you get out of here, we're giving you 10-1. You get $50,000 if you get out. If you don't, you've probably lost a limb or you're really fucked up. Would you do that? Would you do a Saw escape room?
I'm
No
gonna
chance.
say I value my limbs more than 50 grand. So you're gonna have to up the ante here.
Well, I'm telling you, just by the actuary tables, one of your limbs is barely worth $50,000 according to the insurance companies.
So John, if I put up $50,000, can we cut off one of your limbs?
Well, no, I would not. See, I would not take that saw challenge because $50,000, I make a little more than that in a year, and that would not last me very long because I live way beyond my means still.
Well, if you lose one of your limbs, you still have to pay taxes on the 50,000?
That's a question we should be asking Jay.
You see,
I'm sure
Jay,
that's one of his test
where the
questions.
That's the question that stumps Jay every time. Liam writes, before the fight even occurred, I have just placed a $14,750 bet on Mayweather winning. I wanted to put more, to be honest. I wanted to bet around half my life savings on Mayweather, but unfortunately my wife argued and fought with me not to do so. I would have if I lived in a state where I could bet, I would have put a lot of money on. I don't think I would have put $14,000 on Mayweather, but I would have put at least a couple $100. Like, I feel like that was a sure thing.
Speaking of John, you're the semi-sports guy, right?
Sure.
Mark, you are.
Yeah.
I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. It just struck me. What would you pretend you're Biff from Back to the Future 2?
Okay.
And you have the sports
I
almanac.
know where you're going with this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you have the sports almanac. What bets would you make? Would you just bet every game ever, or would you just pick like a bunch of like big upsets that have happened in the past few years?
Well, you know what would be better if he had the sports almanac, which was kind of bullshit because he actually had whoever won.
Right.
It'd be much better if you went back in time, but you had to deal with your fucking memory, and you were like, oh, I think the Knicks won this game. Oh, fuck, the Knicks lost that game. Like, you just kept getting things, you just misremembered everything. That'd be much better. What did you say?
I'm not following.
It'd be great if you had to go back in time and make the bets, but
Yeah.
you didn't have you couldn't look them up. You had to just remember who won what.
Oh. No,
And
I'm talking
so
about if you had the sports almanac.
Because it'd be great if you were like, fine, fuck you. It'd be great if you were like, did the Cubs win it this year or did they win it next year? I can't remember.
You can't go back in time and then like just go on Google?
Fine. If you had this, why? If you're just trying to make money, who gives a fuck what bet you made?
Well, no, I just I'm just thinking of like major like things where you'd make a lot of money on.
I'll tell you what. If you were going to bet real money, you're betting on either boxing, if you're going to go back in time, or you're betting on baseball, really, or horse races. Horse races would be another one.
If you just went and bet like every single game every day, eventually somebody's gonna be like, it's kind of strange that he always fucking wins.
Yeah, that's part of the whole James Franco series on Hulu. There's a part where that's how he makes money when he goes back in time to stop the Kennedy assassination. He has some lines on some bets. And the people that you go through to actually make real money off of betting on fucking shit, you start winning too much, they come after you and wonder how the fuck you know this shit. And that's a slippery slope, Mark. It's a slippery slope.
Who beat Tyson? Who was the guy?
McNeely.
Buster Douglas. That'd be the big one.
Oh, that'd be the big one.
But then, like, if you bet like $50,000 on Buster Douglas, people would like arrest you right away because there's no way you would know you would bet that much.
Oh no! If you'd have bet $50,000 on McNeely within 30 seconds, that would have been the one.
Yeah. But on the other hand, if you bet you're like, I'm gonna bet $100,000 that Tyson bites Holyfield's ear in the third round.
Yeah, and you know what? Somebody would take that action, and then they're going to come after you. Yes.
Horse racing, you could bet at the beginning of the year is there going to be a triple crown.
Yeah. What bet would you do, Bri?
I have Buster Douglas against Tyson. I'm thinking maybe like
I would have bet the economy was going to crash.
Maybe the 69 Mets. I don't know. Were they a big underdog? I know they were terrible, but
that was that if you bet that at the beginning of the season, you probably would do pretty well.
Some of the big football ones. I mean, I guess the Patriots beating the Rams or the what? I don't know.
The Mets being the Red Sox.
Yeah.
86. I don't know, what's a big upset in football history?
I'm sure. I'm sure there's.
You mean like besides our most recent Super Bowl? But then you couldn't take that. You couldn't go back in time and say, "Yeah, I'm going to take the Patriots in this one to come from behind." I mean, that's,
I bet the Patriots at halftime.
You could have done that. Also, the first time the Patriots won when they beat Kurt Warner, because Kurt Warner was like was dominating the league for that.
Yeah, when they were videotaping him at the practice.
Yeah, exactly.
fucking grocery clerk.
Okay. Liam writes, have you ever gotten something stolen from you?
Yes.
Yeah. By a motherfucker named Liam.
Are you guys both going to say your heart?
No, my car got broken into at work. They stole my old Sirius radio and my Oakley sunglasses.
Whoa, Bry.
Yeah.
You wear blades, man. Seriously?
Not anymore.
Okay. All right. My bad, man. Go ahead.
And something else. I forgot something else out of my car. I can't remember what the other thing was.
How much do you pay for Oakley sunglasses?
I got them as a gift, like a long. This was like 6-7 years ago.
My wife gives me shit because I buy like those $10 sunglasses, but they keep breaking. She's like, you have to buy like 3 or 4 pairs like a year, every summer. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not gonna spend like a lot of money on them because they'll break. And she's like, look at the shit you're buying. You understand how it works.
That's a good. Do either of you wear a wristwatch?
No.
Yeah, why? I mean, the reason I don't is for the same reason you're talking about sunglasses. I've broken every wristwatch that I've ever had, like almost immediately.
I have a phone that tells the time.
Do you? Where'd you get that?
Anywhere.
I just don't like wearing something on my wrist. I
used to wear a watch, and then I just stopped.
So you don't wear long sleeve shirts?
I hate long sleeve shirts.
Not when I'm taking a shit. I don't.
You just totally made up for the weak ass fucking callback before that. Boom. Mark wins.
Okay. Rosera writes, why do white women love black? These are really questions we're getting. Why do white women love black guys as their sex partner so much? How many black boyfriends did your wife have before you married her, Mark's true liberal America?
Can I ask you? Wait, can I ask you this real quick, Mark? Before you, and I'm sorry, Rosario. I'm sorry. I know you got places to be, and I know you need to hear the answer to this. But Mark, why does everybody so harshly attack the sexual relationship between you and your wife, and create such horrible innuendo about the things this poor woman that none of them have ever met may or may not have done?
What do you think my wife's reaction would be to me doing podcasting if she found these questions people are asking?
Oh, she doesn't know? You don't, like, share it with her? Like, you should have heard what fucking Rosario asked tonight.
I don't think she would get, like, oh my God. I think I would immediately stop doing the show. She'd be like, why the fuck are you doing the show? She would just nag me about it and be like, this is the dumbest shit. This is what you're doing with your time?
Oh, she's never listened? She doesn't know, like, what you do with this?
No, she's never listened to the show. No.
She's just like, oh, that's his thing. Let him go with it. It's his time.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like I don't go. I'm not sitting here doing meth, so she's like happy.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Whatever.
You think she'd be real happy if she knew how many times a reference to her came up in the same references to a double-headed black dildo?
I don't think she would hear that and feel like, oh shucks. I don't think that.
Get the little red spots on her cheeks and everything, and cross her ankles, and yeah.
Oh, Rosario, there you go again. I don't know why there's like an obsession with that, but it does seem like there's an obsession with that. It is really no one else, because like everyone here has Bryce has a girlfriend, which up until halfway through, up until about 2 years ago, he didn't admit he had a girlfriend, but now he admits he has a girlfriend, right, Bry?
Yeah, I guess.
She blew me in a car. I decided to go to the bar with her afterwards. It's all good now.
Jay's been with his girlfriend almost as long as I've been with my wife.
Which is how long? How long?
We've been married now for 8 years, and we've been together for 12 years.
Well done.
Yeah. You've been together for how long? You said 25 years?
If you count together, 26.
Okay. Bri, when are you getting married?
Next question.
Don't do it, Brian. Don't do it unless it's an insurance thing or the kids need something. Don't get married.
how long have you? How long have you guys been together for?
Like 5 years.
Okay. Do you ever think about? She doesn't listen to the show, right?
No,
She's never gonna hear this.
I don't think so.
Do you ever think about like proposing and getting married?
No,
Why not?
I have no interest in getting married to anybody.
Okay. Do you
Not
like?
even not even gay married. Like if you could just like as a joke, like, hey, we should go get gay married. We're this close to Connecticut.
Do you
No.
guys? Do you guys live together?
No.
You guys don't live together. You obviously
No.
don't live together. Why don't like? I understand like maybe you don't believe in marriage. Is it that you don't believe in marriage?
It's just not for me. I'm not the type of person that can, like, I can't live with somebody and just I can see him every minute of my day and I'll just go crazy and blow my brains out.
Well, I'd like to ask you to live with me, but then I'd have to kill myself. Sweetest thing I've ever said to you. Okay. I was curious because I feel like you're together a certain amount of time, you might want to get married. But again, I guess it's like if you don't believe in, it's not the marriage part that I'm surprised about. It's the not wanting to live together part.
She keeps saying like, "Oh yeah, when my son goes off to college, then we're gonna get a place," and I'm just like, I just never like respond. I just make noises when she says that.
How old's her son?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be 14. He just started his sophomore year of high school.
So it's like 4 more years before that becomes like a.
Oh yeah, you got plenty of time to think up a good lie right there. Yeah.
Do you guys spend a lot of time together, you and her son?
Not really.
Is it what, John?
What did you say?
I don't know.
I just didn't realize we were gonna go this route. Bri, I have the views and opinions expressed by Marc Bri do not reflect the views and opinions expressed by me. But I will say, if
Are these the
she's
closing
probably a
credits now,
lovely,
John?
she's probably a lovely lady. She's probably a very lovely lady. But just that whole kid thing that's not your kid, I just don't know how I couldn't handle that. I don't like any other kids. Marc, you've got kids. Do you like any other kids besides your kids?
I like my nieces and nephews.
Well, no, I mean outside of family.
I mean I don't dislike kids, but I don't like go out of my way to
I
like
hate them.
love.
I couldn't imagine.
I don't see him that much, so I mean,
That's cool because I couldn't handle like, oh, this is the product of you fucking somebody else, and they're looking at me like I'm a piece of shit, and I couldn't do that.
Brian, when you say you don't see him that much, do you mean like when he comes in the room, you close your eyes and say, "I'm not opening my eyes till you leave"?
no, like usually, like by the time I go to her house, he's gone. He's over at father's or whatever.
What if he was over one time and you walked into the bathroom to go take a shit and you didn't know he was in there and you walked in and he was sitting there and he was taking a shit shirtless and was reaching to grab for a shirt, but then you guys make eye contact.
Why would I just walk into a bathroom that's occupied?
Would you call him son right there?
Yeah, and there's a little music swells and you're like, he reaches for his shirt and you lay your hand on his shoulder and say, no, it's
I'm not
okay,
sure why
and
I
then
walk
you take
into an
yours
occupied
off.
Bathroom.
I love this 1980s sitcom moment.
I'm just, you know what? That's true. That's true. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to have said that. As long as he wasn't eating a sandwich, everything's cool, man.
Okay, the show is going long. So Eris writes, what is the biggest waste of time you ever did? Something you invested a lot of time in and was all for nothing. Podcasting does not count. LOL.
Masturbation.
Yes, I guess that is that is a complete waste of time.
What did he say?
Masturbation. Oh, all the time I've spent? I'm going to lie on my deathbed one day and be like, oh, God, if I could just take away 1/3 of the times I jacked off and have that time at the end of my life, this little bit extra longer, I would take that.
Okay, what's the biggest waste of time? School, I guess.
Cool, yeah.
No, wait, I don't know. I don't know my biggest waste of time. Well, I guess I went to law school. I don't practice law, so that was probably a pretty big waste of time for me.
Like just pre-law, or how long did you go?
I went for 3 years. I got a law degree. I'm a lawyer, but I don't practice. So that seems like a kind of a waste of time.
In retrospect, yeah.
Yeah, so that's 3 long years. What do you guys got? You getting to the top of that?
Well, not. I can't think of anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was gonna say-
everything I do is a waste of time. So
Yeah.
it's hard to narrow down to one thing.
Yeah, if you added together 1/3 of all the times I've masturbated, that's way more than 3 years.
Okay, Eris writes, is having a car in New York City the biggest waste of money?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Other than living in New York City, yes.
Yes, Bri. It is a waste of money living in New York City. Also, you can do like Zipcar, like and rent a car when you need a car, or just rent a car. I guess like it's a better. Actually, owning a car in New York City is a really bad idea unless you have just like lots of money to throw around for no reason. Eris writes, what is the biggest opportunity you let go for whatever reason? I got for Bri. Him and Jay originally were the 2 main hosts of Brink of Sanity. And one day, Bri said, Jay, I don't want to do the show anymore. And ever since then, Bri has been a guest on the show he started.
That's right. I got bumped from co-host to guest.
Yeah, so special guest, and he doesn't have the privilege of now deciding when we do the show. We let him know, and a lot of times we tell him we go do the Nick podcast, and we just don't call him for it.
And then don't call me.
Yeah. That wouldn't happen if you hadn't given up your opportunity of being on the show.
Well, that's my penance, I guess.
John?
What, biggest thing that I ever passed up on?
Yeah.
I had an opportunity a long time ago to get in on the ground floor of a like frozen food delivery service. They call them Schwans, and I never did.
And if you had, what would have? Is that like a popular thing?
Oh yeah, around the Midwest, they're Schwann's trucks. It's called Schwann's. Their logo is like a swan, but it's a Schwann. On the side of their trucks, you have a whole little catalog that you get, and instead of going to the store for your frozen food selections and everything, you can get all this shit from Schwann's, and they deliver it right to your door. And they've been doing it since like the 80s, and had an opportunity to get in on that in the early 90s for probably like $5 or $6 grand, but that was way more than I had. And I'm like, oh, I got to pass. People are just going to want to go to the grocery store. And now around this area, you can't throw a stick without hitting a goddamn Schwann's truck.
So would you be a millionaire now?
I would be 100,000-aire at least.
Okay. That's pretty big. Nothing in particular. I feel like I should have invested in Apple stock instead of not investing in Apple stock. I don't know. I don't have anything good. Jaime writes, so let's talk about the Mets while we have a chance. First, the Mets are probably one of the worst trainers in the world. Since all of our players are always hurt, what is your opinion on this season? Bri?
We gave our opinion earlier, like 3 hours ago.
We talked about it a while ago. Yeah. What
It was a wasted
goddamn
season.
So I saw somewhere online this is the best explanation for the season. This is the Mets. This is part of the curse of investing with Madoff. That's the only explanation that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Jaime writes, what happens to Jay when he passes all of his classes and can't do the show anymore? Are you going to do it with Peter and Bri? So Jaime apparently doesn't want us to do it with John and Bri. Sorry, John.
Fuck you, Jaime.
In fairness, he wrote this question a while ago. This is part of Facebook, so he's not writing this question live. So he has not heard the brilliance of John.
Unfuck you, Jaime.
Do you think that would be kind of messed up if Jay was like, now after he gets the CPA, if he's too good for the show?
Yeah, he goes Hollywood on us.
He's like, I can't do a show now. It's going to hurt my CPA career.
I've got a pool to pay for.
Yeah.
You guys didn't believe in me. I'm not going to sit here and do this stupid podcast anymore.
My new CPA friends want to do a CPA podcast.
That's right.
So
we're gonna do a podcast about taxes and loopholes.
I would do a show with you guys, but you guys would never understand the intricacies of cost-based accounting. So there's no way I'm going to do it with you. What's a gap rule? That's what I thought. Jaime writes, how bad the Jets going to do this season? And I'm a Giants fan. How do you think they're going to do this season? So I'm a Jet fan. I think there's a potential to go 0-16. they look atrocious. But they probably will do just well enough to miss out on all the quarterbacks in the draft.
Probably.
Giants. John, are you a football fan?
Oh, I'm a huge football fan. That is the one sport. I've sat here and referenced our fantasy draft.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Many times.
You're a Packer fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge Packer fan. But thanks to the magic of fantasy football, I've begun to mostly watch much more closely a lot of different teams across the NFL, not just the ones my team is playing. And I think that if the shit that I heard about Kaepernick was untrue about him going to the Jaguars and it's still Blake Bortles that's there, I think that's who's going to have the most atrocious record this year in the NFL. The guy, he's got all kinds of talent with both Allens on the outside, a decent little running back, that great offensive line. They got a stout defense, but the man cannot, as big, he's like a young Roethlisberger, but he can't fucking throw the ball to save his fucking life. I think the worst fucking, who asked this question? What was their name?
Jaime.
Jamie. The worst.
Why would you do that?
Jamie, the worst record in the NFL. Put your money on it. It's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. And
Okay.
sleeper to watch out for, the A+, the only team that got an A+ in the draft this year, the Cleveland Browns.
So I'm looking at Bortles' numbers. His numbers aren't that bad.
But that's everybody's argument. But look at their win-loss record. That's what's bad. He can't win a game.
Defense matters too. Yeah, no, obviously they were pretty bad.
Paul Postlesny, Jonathan Cyprien until he went to fucking Tennessee this year. No, they've had all the key ingredients. Blake Bortles sucks. I'm sorry. That's one thing I hear all the time, Mark. It's just, Bortles numbers. Look at him. Look at Bortles numbers. Well, that's what everybody's doing, but they're not looking at, like I said, he can't win games.
I have a question for you. A different football question. You're a Packers fan. You have one game to win. You could take either of them in their prime. You take Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre in their prime.
You know what? I'm going to have to go with Aaron Rodgers because
Is Aaron Rodgers ever going to get any shit for barely winning any playoff games ever?
Right?
Didn't he won a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, he did win a
like
Super
10
Bowl.
years ago.
Well, he got one.
Yeah, it wasn't 10 years ago either, Bry.
It was a while ago.
No, my thing about about Rodgers is I give it. What was your question, Mark? I'm so sorry.
Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers on their in
their
the prime of
prime.
their careers. You have to win one game. Who would you rather have your quarterback?
Oh, no, definitely. If we're going to go back to the Super Bowl, which is less than 6 years ago, fuckers, it was the one thing I've always said as a Packers fan in my life, if I could see one game that has never, ever happened, I will be happy with everything the rest of my life. And that was always to see something that had never happened until about 6 years ago, an NFC championship game between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. The Green Bay Packers won that. I got my wish. I saw something nobody had ever seen as a fan of either of those teams. And then, of course, Green Bay goes on to beat Pittsburgh and shit. But ever since then, everything hasn't hurt all that much, except for last year's NFC championship game against the fucking Falcons, where Green Bay has a great game against Dallas, one of the most hated teams in my lexicon, and then turns around and gets fucking shredded, embarrassed, bent over and prison fucked by the Atlanta Falcons and Matty Ice, man. It was horrible.
So you're saying you would not take
No, I
Favre.
wouldn't take Favre because you know what? Favre lost me in the NFC Championship game against the New York Giants, which you should remember, where he fights back, he battles him back into overtime, comes out, gets the coin toss, and then immediately throws a fucking pick six. That killed me. That hurt me so bad. They were the Green Bay slackers in that overtime, and it hurt so bad. I hate the Giants more than almost any other team. You would think the Bears, or not the Giants, the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys because they owned our ass in the fucking 90s. But anymore, the Giants have kind of slipped in there and become a fucking spoiler, like a sneaky, quiet little spoiler in the fucking playoffs against the Packers, man.
I'm gonna go with Favre, but
I'm sorry. Don't get me going about fucking the Packers.
okay. Jaime, right. Last question.
Jamie.
Also, it's time to plug the one and only New York Knicks podcast, where they talk about the most dysfunctional basketball team around and how they only sign old and injured players. Thank you, Jaime, for plugging the New York Knicks podcast. Why don't you do a Green Bay Packer podcast?
Because I basically kind of do that on Thursdays when I do the football podcast with Marina.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of just do our whole football talk there. I mean, it's unfortunate she's a Seahawks fan, but she knows her shit, so that's
Okay.
kind of what we discuss.
My fantasy football draft is Wednesday. Who's the number one? Who's the number one pick in the draft, and who's your sleeper?
If I go number one pick, and you know what, this is actually a combination to do this very, very quickly here. My number one draft pick, your number one pick, and your sleeper, if you want to get more bang for your buck, Melvin Gordon in the first round, running back.
Really? That's
fuck
a bad
yes.
pick.
Oh no.
Were you trying to come in last place, John? Or
Yeah, come on. Melvin Gordon.
I've been playing for 7 years. I have been in the fucking hunt at the end of every season, and Melvin Gordon took me to the Super Bowl last year where I lost, but that's because of Week 17 bullshit. No, I'm telling you. And you know what? You guys can give me all the shit you want. That's fine. Listeners, Melvin Gordon, first round. Just trust me. I mean, if you're not getting Johnson, you're not getting Bell, you're not getting Gurley. It's fucking. I'm telling you that it is a steal. It is a steal the way you can get Melvin Gordon.
Yeah,
Well
because
worth
you know what? Because he's going to disappoint you.
I'll tell you what. Sleeper. If you want a sleeper, LeGarrette Blount in Philly, man. LeGarrette Blount in Philly. Philly's O-line now is way more tough than they have been in recent years. I'm not saying go pick up Carson Wentz because he's going to be able to do shit. But LeGarrette Blount, inside, he's going to be like he was in fucking Pittsburgh. He's going to be like he was in New England. You get him inside the 20, he's going to score. Score.
I know you don't want to talk about stats, but I just looked up because I definitely had Melvin Gordon on my team like at least once in the last 2 years. He's been a giant disappointment. He hasn't even broken 1,000 yards yet.
That's my that's my point. Is he? But if you look at your stats, they haven't gone down. They are steadily. His first year in the league, he's coming off of where he's coming out of Wisconsin. He's playing for the Badgers and everything, where he's putting up 2,000 and 3,000 yard seasons in college football. And then he hits the NFL. He gets in there with the Chargers. He gets injured. He has some issues. But he is just, last year was more of a breakout season for him. I'm just telling you, you asked for like a sleeper and a first pick. I said that's a combo right there. He is your sleeper this year. I'm telling you, Melvin Gordon's going to do big things in not San Diego anymore, Los Angeles. How fucked up
Mark,
is that?
I would advise against taking Melvin Gordon, Mark, but that's me.
Every time I see LAC when the Chargers are playing now, I think Los Angeles Clippers.
Okay, I'm going to ask Bri now. Since Bri follows football too, who's your number one pick in the fantasy draft, and who's your sleeper?
Like number one overall.
Number one overall, yeah.
I would still take Brady number one.
Yeah, I'd possibly take Brady number one.
I don't play that much fantasy football because I fucking hate it. But I mean, the guy, he just never throws interceptions and he gets touchdowns. And Sleeper. I'm gonna go with. I'll give you a better running back than Melvin Gordon.
Who?
Joe Mixon.
Joe, who's that?
He's on the Bengals.
Oh,
he's a rookie.
Okay.
Would you like to make I don't know what wager we would make. I guess we can't make a wager. I would like to say that I would love for us to be able to get together at the end of the season and compare stats on Melvin Gordon and Mixon.
I'll do that.
Okay, there you have it. Jay and Bri and John will compare stats on players at the end of the season. Tune in.
There you go. And now I'm going to tell you guys this. I feel that we have. Are we done with the questions?
I hope
so. I got to go to bed.
I think we've wrapped things up here. Do we have to do a 12-hour outro?
No. The one thing you have to remember for the outro is what I'm going to say is we're finished with the show and blah 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 blah. But then I'm going to say the words because God damn it, and then I'm going to be quiet and you both say we care. Can you do that for me?
Bri, you know they shut David Wright down. He was playing some games in the minor leagues.
Who cares? I
I
don't
just
ever
think
want
it's
to see
funny.
him again.
I know, but I think it's funny. They started playing him in minor leagues. He's already been shut down.
I got you, John. We care.
We care.
Well, there you go. I hope you folks have all enjoyed this little crossover series here. This little rip in space and time. This Brink of Ass volume number 4. And
if you're a big fan of this show, that's great. You know what show? Have you guys watched Rick and Morty?
Oh yeah. I actually had to skip one tonight, but yeah.
I just started watching. That's really fun. That's a pretty funny show.
That's Dan Hartman. That's Community. I'm a huge Community fan. Love Dan Hartman, man.
Anyway, I wanted to point that show out. Brian, you watched that?
No, I never heard of it.
Oh, you should watch it.
Yeah, you really should, Bri. Peer pressure.
Okay. If you like our show, tune in for more shows.
That's right. If you like our show, tune in for more shows because we'll be making them. And why is that? It's because, God damn it.
We care.
We here over at Brink of Sanity, we do one show every. We used to be every week, but now Jay with his CPA exam, we do it every 2 weeks. But we also do a Nick show. So every week you get at least one thing of content from us. If you like Random Ass Radio, tune in every hour as there's 24 new shows a day apparently.
Did you tell him all he had to say was "we care" and we could have ended this? We could have had this done. We could have had this done, but instead we're going to go with a take 2, and we'll be back here on the Random Ass Radio Network with more content for all your ear holes because, God damn it.
I'm amazed how much content you put out.
We care.